I'm missing a lot of shots over here. I'm taking a lot of shots. I'm missing a lot of shots.
But you're shooting that shot. That's
It's
what's
true.
important.
And occasionally, when they connect, when they
Mhm.
hit, it's real. It's a real
We
thing.
are not good at sports metaphors. I don't think
No.
that we should be.
I can do it, but then it's
Yeah.
confusing.
No, you said hitting. Shoot, isn't the shooting your shot one about basketball?
Well, yeah, but if you make the shot, they'd say like you hit a three. Like you would
Oh, so it's
say
me. It's just me
Oh.
consistently still being bad at sports metaphors. Got it. You're good.
it's also that sports linguistics are constantly evolving. So
Ooh,
unless
what's
you're
the new hip
actively participating
lingo?
in it, yeah, like you're not gonna know.
Yeah,
Right?
what are the Zoomers calling it?
Yeah, what are they
Oh,
saying?
you can't ask me a question like that. I don't know what Zoomers are calling anything.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was born like 19 days before the movie we're talking about came out. Ahoy, listeners! This is Debut Buddies. It's your fortnightly podcast about firsts. I'm Nate. I'm one of the buddies.
I'm Kelly. I'm an additional buddy.
I'm Chelsea. I'm the other buddy.
And, there's a lot of evil out there
Mm.
that's living. I think
Most of it.
I think we
Some of
experience
it's not living.
some of it's not
Do you
living.
think that? Yeah, no. I guess more would be not living, based on numbers.
You think you mean historically? Like the
Yeah,
historic amount of
historically, right?
total evil? Well, sure, yeah.
Is it though? I don't know.
I
Hold
think there's an
on.
argument to be made that there's a lot of evil that's not living right now, but that's only because it's not actually alive and it never was. It's sort of it's an algorithm or it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
artificial intelligence. It's things
Ooh,
that
damn, yeah.
may crave the blood pumping, sweaty, tasting and smellingness of living, but they don't have it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, first of all, ew.
Ugh.
Second of all,
but
no,
yeah.
save it. We have to save all of our capitalist dystopian ranting for when we're trying to do the outro.
It's
For
true.
now.
Yeah, we gotta wait until we're all tired and sleepy and
Oh,
and then we can
Aw.
start rolling out the 45-minute philosophical diatribe. But we're not going to talk about evil that's living, evil alive, evil
Mm-mm.
live.
oh, we might
No.
pepper some of it in. Sorry.
Well, sure. We're going to.
But for the most part.
But yeah.
We're actually going to talk about what if evil was dead? And what if that Evil Dead was a movie? And what if that movie came out in October of 1981, shortly after the living evil that is me, Nate Regolia, emerged from the nethers?
Ew. Don't talk about your mother that way.
I didn't say... Look, I was trying to steer away from
Oh.
getting
Well, you did
anatomical.
a very bad job.
I did a terrible job.
Mhm.
But
It's a very graphic movie, so
yeah,
Yeah.
still
Things
better
like
than
that.
part of this
Yeah.
movie that does a much worse job. We're talking about Sam Raimi's first film, The Evil Dead, from 1981, starring Bruce Campbell
It's a bomb.
and The Woods. A cabin in the woods,
Oh,
in
in
fact.
the woods.
Hmm.
First movie to feature the woods, right?
Yeah.
That's gotta be. Yeah.
Previous movies,
No.
all open fields.
No woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, woods
They were in
weren't
the
invented
West
until
at some
the
time.
70s.
Oh,
Mhm.
who knew?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. This movie is a horror movie. It is the first of the Evil Dead trilogy that's also now, I guess, a quadrology or a quintology, depending on how you want to read it, because there are two contemporary movies. One of them, I think, is a reboot.
Yes.
Evil
a
Dead.
Requel.
No,
Wait.
the is like a reboot, a contemporary reboot, and then Evil Dead Rises is a sequel to the reboot.
Mhm. Is
Okay.
it a sequel or is it like it's in the same? Is it in the same universe? Like, how did they?
I mean, they all have to exist in the same universe, right? Because they're all
That's
dealing with
true.
Deadites and,
That's
and
a
this
good
concept.
point.
So there's
Damn.
that. But yeah, is it
And there's a
a
TV show.
parallel universe
Yeah.
or is it a sort of sequential universe? I have not seen either of the newer films yet. I know that
Oh.
Evil Dead Rises is supposed to be very good. I don't know about Evil Dead, although I did read that Bruce Campbell has a maybe end of film cameo or a post-credit sequence appearance?
Oh,
Oh, maybe post
was
credits,
there
but
post
I think
credit?
not that I saw, but what I suspect that you're remembering is that the very end of the reboot Evil Dead, they do like a very Army of Darkness style action in the style of Bruce Campbell from the
Yeah.
earlier movies,
Oh, okay.
but he's not actually in
He's
it.
not in it.
Yeah,
No,
big
but
old
it's very
nod to
clearly
him.
an homage.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
You know what? He
Oh, I
might
feel-
be in it because I think, like, not Bruce Campbell the actor, but I think that his visage is in it
Oh,
because there's an Army of Darkness poster at the very end of the movie.
Get that chin in there.
Gotta have the chin.
Gotta have that chin.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, we're going to talk about the first one, the movie that started it all, the movie that started Sam Raimi's film career, and I don't know, a movie that I think is sort of an interesting one because it took me till well later in my life to see it. It's
Oh,
pretty graphic movie.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I would have watched it like I suppose around college era that I really
Mhm.
got into all of the Sam Raimi stuff and like really understood what it was outside of Spider-Man, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I always forget that he did Spider-Man. Like, I think
How
of him
could you?
as, well,
Yeah.
easily, I suppose.
Oh.
No offense to Toby,
Mhm.
right? Did I get the
Correct.
right Spider-Man?
Yeah, you got it.
absolutely.
You got it.
Correct Spider-Man. Yeah. Or Kirsten Dunst.
Yes.
Mhm.
Apologies. Which is the Spider-Man
Yeah, it's
with the
that one.
emo? With the
It's that
emo?
one. It's
No.
the
Sorry,
third
I
one.
mean, it was the third one. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Spider-Man
So
3 is when he gets the Venom costume and he
Spoiler,
starts
spoiler, spoiler,
feeling
spoiler.
bad. He starts being a little bad, right? Because he's got a little symbiote in him.
Dude, are you gonna watch it, Kelly?
No, absolutely not. I was doing a bit. I mean,
There was-
actually maybe, but I don't care about about it being spoiled.
There was a TikTok I saw where somebody was at a party and Sam Raimi was there and he went up to him and he was like, I love this guy and I was so excited to see him. And the only thing I could think to say was Spider-Man 3. What happened there? And he was like, man,
No.
he's like, it was like studio interference to the max. There was nothing we could do. It's
The
just
early
what happened.
2000s were a heady time.
They just tried to do too much.
Yeah,
It could have been
it's-
beautiful, but it was so bad.
It's
But
a
also
movie
so
that's
good.
overloaded with merchandising opportunities, and that's the problem. They're like, we
Oh.
need 4 different villains in one movie.
Yeah.
And
You
we're
know
not going to make the
what's-
movie any longer than the previous movies. And also, Spider-Man's going to go through a serious crisis, both of his relationship. Like the arc of that, real quick.
Could have
the
been
arc of
good.
that movie- the arc of that movie is really interesting because Spider-Man 2 is still sort of held as maybe the best superhero movie that's ever been made because it's just like tonally, it's its own thing. It has beautiful highs, beautiful lows, does some cool stuff. Spider-Man 3 comes back and it's like, okay, hey, let's introduce Kane Marco, Sandman. Let's introduce Topher Grace as Eddie. I can't remember Eddie's last name, but the guy, Eddie Brock, who ultimately becomes Venom in the comics, but is Peter Parker's competitor at photography. We also have James Franco's Green Goblin 2 is in
yeah.
that movie. And then is there a third
Was
villain?
there a third?
Or I guess
Himself.
maybe Venom is the third villain. But
Spider-Man.
Chelsea made a face.
Spider-Man was the third villain.
Yeah,
He
'cause
himself was the
he's
third villain.
because Peter Parker's whole thing in that is like, hey, you finally got the girl. You have this wonderful relationship. Everybody in New York rallied to the fact that you're Spider-Man and they love you. And that whole movie starts with like, okay, cool. Peter's become like a dick because everybody likes him. And so he's taking Mary Jane for granted. He is just kind of getting high on his own supply, for lack of a better word. And then the symbiote happens. So he's got like alien evil little shoulder devil juice dripped all over him. So he's just kind of
juice. First he gets the spider juice. Now he's got this juice. That's too much juice.
It's a lot of juice.
I think that's my critique of Spider-Man 3, a film I have not seen.
So juice in
It's a
this,
juicy
and there's a
time,
lot
those
of
2000s.
juice in Evil Dead as well. So
Boy,
juice
Mm.
everywhere.
Sam Raimi is just a juicy guy. And actually, you know what? Looking at pictures of him, he is
Really,
always
yeah.
very sweaty. Like he's
Oh,
just
okay.
he's a juicy guy.
Hollywood's wettest
That's
director.
his tagline.
I watched a couple interviews and I was like, will somebody get him
Sam Raimi, juicy guy.
a rag?
Do we think that James Cameron is always jealous of Sam Raimi because James Cameron is actively trying to be the wettest director, but he can't get as wet as Sam Raimi?
Yes. Yes, I do think that.
Great, good.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad.
That's headcanon now.
I think that's all we need to say. That was a great episode of the show. Thanks, everybody. Debutbuddies@gmail.com. But yeah, Spider-Man 3 is just a tangle of too many things. Like, if you wanted to do just a cozy relationship Spider-Man movie where he takes her for granted, deals with a symbiote that changes his personality, and it becomes like a little bit like season 2 Buffy, where it's like, hey, your ideal boyfriend has now turned suddenly evil after you finally hook up. Like, that could have been an interesting movie. But instead, they tried to make 3 comic book movies and a relationship movie at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
Not
it's one of those
good.
things where it's like surprisingly like still watchable. It's just not good.
Yeah.
I mean, we will continue to watch it because of how it makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in Evil Dead that makes no sense. There's
Oh,
one thing
Continuity.
that makes no sense. Also the continuity, but I forgive the continuity.
Let's talk. Okay, so what I was saying is I saw Evil Dead in, it would have been college, because then I saw pretty much that, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, all kind of in rapid succession.
Okay.
But I had previous like Bruce Campbell experience just because I had watched a couple of the shows that he was on in the 90s. I'd been aware
like
of him.
what?
I just didn't watch. There was a show that was on in the early 90s called The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Oh.
You're
gonna wanna put a
starring
pin in
Bruce
that.
Campbell?
For later.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to put a pin in that
Oh,
for later.
thank
I'm
you.
remembering.
Saying.
Or I'll.
But that was a
check
show.
that out.
It ran for like one season. But it was in the same era as, I don't know if you remember, there was the like Young Indiana Jones Chronicles or something.
Oh.
That was a show that came out as well. There's like this
What?
wave of sort of like, let's do adventure movie serial stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Briscoe County Jr. very much that energy. It was really actually a
My
pretty
God.
cool show that played into he's got these super handsome good looks.
Mhm.
We're gonna do a bit where he's like kind of a bumbling but always effective by accident hero.
I love it when they're a little dopey.
And yeah, it's like he's dopey, but there's always like he's always just like having women swoon over him, but also do femme fatale turns on him at all points too, so he's constantly behind the 8 ball. It was a great show. I remember loving it and being very disappointed at age like 12, 13 that it got canceled, and just like,
Oh.
oh, that was a good one. Why did that go away? And then
Bummer.
can't ever find out why.
I did watch Burn Notice.
Oh, sure, yeah, Burn Notice. I watched a fair amount of Burn Notice.
That was
He's
much
good in
later,
that.
though. He was. Oh yeah, he's great in everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So did he? I'm going through his filmography because I was like, oh, I forgot he was in things aside from Evil Dead. He directed a bunch of episodes of Hercules and Xena.
Yeah, because he's like a thief character in both of
What?
those shows.
Oh gosh, got to go back and watch all of them. Okay,
Well-
I'll do it. I'll watch Xena. I won't watch Hercules.
And Sam Raimi's brother Ted Raimi also plays like a sidekick character on those shows.
And Xena, is that Lucy Lawless?
It is Lucy Lawless.
It
And
is.
she is married to Robert Tappert,
Oh,
maybe, who
the
was
producer.
a producer on Evil
Oh,
Dead.
so they're all friends. That's
It's-
the cutest.
Yes,
I love that.
although
Oh my
Lucy
God.
Lawless saw Evil Dead before she knew these guys.
And then she fell in love.
No, she was
Oh.
like, this is a horrible movie. Who would make this? These are monsters. They should be locked up.
Oh,
Then
she wasn't
You know.
wrong.
she met Tappert and they fell in love. And I tried to find like an anecdote about how she found out? Like, did he tell her, or did she find out elsewhere? Was she like talking? Was she bitching about Evil Dead somewhere, and somebody was like, "You know, your fiance made that." Like, how did this happen? Oh, love it.
That feels like a relationship test moment of just like, hey, so
Yeah,
here's the thing. I detest one of your most important career moves, but I still
yeah,
like you. And so let's go ahead with this.
yeah. Oh God, so funny. I
I
was
just
just
saw that
talking
Sam
to.
Raimi he developed Xena and maybe also Hercules. So this is stuff I didn't know,
Mm,
and this is what I'm learning live on this episode.
I wonder if that's how they
That
met.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it was like
cute.
maybe they had just like hang out. I don't know. He might have been part of the show as well, but if I keep looking at it, then I'm going to disengage, and nobody. Some people might want that, but we're not going to do that
We don't want that. No one
today.
wants that. Listeners, if you want it, you turn this podcast off right now.
Yeah,
I
disengage
mean,
all of
or just
us.
mute whenever I talk. That's okay. It's fine. Every like 30 minutes, take out an okay or something. JK,
It'll
y'all.
be like Garfield without
I'm here for the
Garfield.
pepper.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Bruce Campbell, very charismatic actor, manages to be good in everything he's in. He just,
Yeah.
he was in a lot of like interesting side stuff. Um, he was apparently in Evil Dead Rise. He's credited, or it's an uncredited cameo, and his voice, he perhaps voices a priest. Anyway, he was in Doctor
oh,
Strange in the
Mhm.
Multiverse of Madness, also a Sam Raimi film.
Oh,
yeah, Raimi
I didn't
has
know that
had a
was a Raimi
weird.
film. I would have watched it. I didn't watch it. Whoops.
The problem with that movie is that
Oh, okay,
the
good.
parts that are a Sam Raimi film where you feel like he's actually free to do Sam Raimi stuff are actually kind of
Oh,
cool. The
are we
frustrating
Spider-Man 3?
end, yeah, I mean the frustrating end is that it's like it's forced into a pretty traditional like MCU mold.
Oh,
So there are
Mm,
bummer.
a lot of places where it's just like, oh, this is kind of boring. Whatever. This is just like we have to do this exposition because Kevin Feige demands that the stories go this way.
Oh,
But there is a cool like
well,
Doctor Strange turning into a zombie sort of sequence that very much
okay.
feels like Evil Dead, or I
oh,
mean, it
Oh,
feels a little bit
fun.
more
fun.
like Evil Dead 2, really, than the first one, because it's really Evil Dead 2 where things start getting fun
Yeah,
and tongue in cheek and goofy, because
yeah,
this original movie is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be scary, this is gonna be gory, and
It's funny sometimes.
that is gonna be most of what it's gonna be, and there's gonna be some funny stuff, but yeah, it's like.
there's very little funny
Yeah,
stuff
it's not
that
a
was
ton.
intentional. Like
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
some of it is pretty funny, but that might be 2024 talking. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think some of it is like, did this not age? Some of it is just, hey, this is almost no budget movie
hmm
Yes.
has
That's
to
probably
fill
where
some spaces in ways that just do not land. The further and further you get into it.
Kelly, did you see Evil Dead Rise? I
No,
should
I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise. I saw Evil Dead 10 years ago. The No, sorry. I saw the new one from 10 years ago.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw Evil Dead, Sam Raimi, this movie. I don't know. How old am I? 34, probably 30 years ago. Like I was
Right.
too young to watch this movie.
Quality age 4 film.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time. um, but I remember very, very, very little from the reboot. Um, and haven't seen Rise yet. But I do think that it is interesting that what I remember from the reboot are like really, really upsetting imageries. Like I don't remember a ton of plot. I assume the same plot as this one,
Yeah.
where you don't need a ton. And that's probably why I don't remember it. And the reason I find that interesting is because upon rewatching the 81 Evil
hmm
Dead, I was like, wow, yeah, no, I mostly just remembered some
Gross
scenes
stuff.
that
Yeah.
were
Mhm.
very, very, uh,
Intense.
yes, intense. That's the, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that says to me that probably made sense. But
Oh
Chelsea, you've
yeah.
seen both of the ones.
I've seen everything except for the TV show. I watched the first episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, but or not. Wait, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched the first episode, but I think it was on Stars, so I couldn't unless I
Oh.
purchased it. I think I purchased the first episode and then I was like, I will get back to this. And then I did not get back to this. But I had also similar experience when I was a child. I did watch the Evil Dead movie. And I did not remember it until I watched it later because I was like, oh, these scenes are somewhat familiar for some reason.
Mhm.
But I did rewatch it for this, obviously. I watched it again like a couple of years ago, I think. But yeah, and I think we've talked about this before. Whenever the remake came out of Evil Dead, that's one of the only movies I've walked out of. Not because it was bad, because the imagery was too intense for me at that time.
And the sounds. It was the sounds.
The sounds.
God, the sounds.
Yeah, there is a specific scene, and I can like picture it in my head as I'm talking about it. But I loved the cast for that movie, and I hope that it gets integrated into the continued series because I did read the Wikipedia about the future of what's going to happen with Evil Dead, and much like Kevin Feige, they have written a Bible of what they expect to happen in future movies, and they will continue to give it over to new directors. I'm gonna
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they will continue to give it over to new directors, and they're hoping to not release a movie every 10 years. They want to start releasing them more
going
frequently.
For 25 this time.
So I am genuinely excited to see where it goes. I enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. It was less upsetting than the Evil Dead reboot, but I loved what they did with the Evil Dead reboot in the end, the whole homage to Bruce Campbell and everything. Like everything, for someone who walked out of it because it was uncomfortable, I really liked it. And then I think Evil Dead Rise was a pretty fun movie as well. So I'm excited to see where it goes. So that's my summation about where I came from when I jumped into this one. And I also love Sam Raimi. Yeah, just in general.
Okay, so I remember having so many conversations espousing my love for Sam Raimi, and then I'm constantly shocked at the movies he's made. I think, actually, I love the Evil Dead franchise and Drag Me to Hell, and I don't know anything else he's done.
He's done a lot of interesting stuff. Did a movie titled Crime Wave, working with the Coen brothers.
Way back in 85. I met the
Yeah.
Coen brothers editing this movie. Like, one of the Coen brothers was the apprentice to the woman who edited the film.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It's it's this sweet little everybody wrapped together. He directed Darkman, a non MCU superhero movie.
Yeah,
with
that
Liam Neeson.
one.
Oh, is Liam Neeson the superhero?
He has like a
He's
fedora,
Darkman, yeah,
right, and a cape, not a cape, trench coat.
Yeah, trench coat, bandage face, because he gets burned.
Fedora trench coat.
He gets burned a lot.
So he's a 1940s gangster?
I think it's contemporary, but
I'm just going off this fedora trench coat imagery.
Yeah. It kind of pays homage to the 30s kind of era, but I think it is supposed to be in sort of a 1990-ish area. He also directs The Quick and the Dead, which is a Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio Western
that
came out
cast.
in the early 90s. And A Simple Plan with Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton. And also the romantic drama For the Love of the Game, a baseball movie starring Kevin Costner. Sam Raimi has done a lot of
all over
stuff.
the place.
He is definitely all over the place. Plus, all three Spider-Man of the original ilk. So yeah, interesting. Real interesting guy. Very kinetic director. Likes to move the camera a lot. You can see that. You can see that in The Evil Dead. Like we open on a sequence where we're just sort of the camera's moving over a marsh through a muddy sort of swampy area. We've got to go moving through there. The camera moves a lot to, I think, make the scene feel active in ways that, at least in this movie, it's limited by the fact that they're dealing with a really bad cabin
Yeah.
that is really small. and they're making it feel bigger and more sinister by having a lot of movement around it.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
also very like it puts you in it. It's very tense because it doesn't feel like when the camera is, standing in one spot and you're just looking at the scene, you've got that like fourth wall separation.
Mm,
Yeah.
Whereas when a
mhm.
camera is zooming into Bruce Campbell's bloody face, you're like, so I'll step back. Like you're there
Yeah,
with them.
you don't have audience agency to separate
Hmm.
yourself from this movie very easily. You are constantly being forced to witness things. And a
Yeah.
lot of things, especially in this, that so I to just to follow up on the episode 1 multiple watch situation.
Oh,
Mm.
I
shit.
watched The Evil Dead almost 3
5
times.
times?
Yeah, I wish I would have watched it 5 times. I watched it almost 3 times,
Okay.
and yeah,
Too
by
scary that last time.
yeah,
Couldn't quite make it through 3. Too scary.
I got tuckered out. Um, but it is like it becomes hard to watch when you know what is coming,
Mm.
and then it's like, I don't know if I want to keep looking at the pencil in the ankle for that long.
God, the
Like,
pencil
it's
Yeah.
a
ankle.
really cool effect, but geez, like I got actually queasy the third
Yeah.
time where I was just like, ugh, no, no more.
They
Yeah.
And they really
really made a
savor it.
meal of that. Yes, exactly.
Oh,
They just
yeah.
linger on that one. And
That's funny.
apparently
Okay.
that was she was just supposed to be stabbed in the foot. And then one of the producers was like, nah, dude, we got to do the pencil thing. People are
Yeah.
going to hate that.
And you do. You
Yeah, you
do hate
do.
it.
You
All of
do.
the all of the gore and horror effects in this movie work well because you hate them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the longer you look at them, you hate them more and more. And the movie doesn't let you stop. Like, in a
Mm-hmm.
way that more contemporary horror might give you a flash of something, really
Mm.
scare you with
Yeah.
here's an abrupt moment of hyper violence, followed
Oh,
by
yeah.
now a calm. This movie is
Right.
like hyper violence,
And
hold,
some more.
Double it.
day, now
Like,
again, you know.
yes, this movie was very like once it gets going, it's like somebody sabotaged the brakes. There are no
Oh, yeah.
pauses. Like
Yeah.
we get going and then we're just fucking going, breakneck speed
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, which is such a delight because you're right. So many newer movies are like it's tension building. Let's build the tension, let's build the tension, let's build the tension movie. And you're like, nothing happened. We were just
Mm.
they were
Yeah.
just nervous for 2.5 hours.
And I'm like that
They're slowing
normally.
us
I don't need
down.
a
I
movie for
know.
that.
Truly.
Yeah, this
I
movie burns its tension in the first 20 minutes,
Yeah.
mm,
and
mhm.
then it starts going so fast that it forgets even to have, like, there's really not much dialogue for like
No,
the
don't need
last
it.
half an hour,
Yeah.
right? Other than haunting baby talk from a white contact lensed
Oh,
I don't know
Instagram
the actor's
makeup
name.
artist. No,
Oh,
it's bad.
yeah.
It's just intentionally bad makeup is my joke. It's not a good joke. Chelsea, you keep wanting to say something. What do you want to say?
I wanted to say two things, and oh no, I remember. It's funny because I also did the same thing I did with episode 1. I watched it up until 5 minutes before we started recording this episode. So at least we're consistent
It's
and we bring the
fresh.
same vibe. So if you guys liked that episode, I hope you love this one.
You're gonna love this one.
But the other part was another, they chose the most sensitive areas. Always like the ankle, the calf, and the
Mhm.
wrists are always the
Oh,
ones that are like, ooh, please stop. Like, I mean,
yeah.
hands, eyes, those are also ones, but like the biting the wrist scene, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
Still
another one
going.
that
Still
yeah,
keep
it
we're
just keeps
continuing.
going.
It's just and then you have to look at your watch and you're like, full minute. Okay, we're going. We're going. Is it done? And then you're like,
Mm-mm.
oh, there was no bone there anyway. I don't know why it matters.
The side of the face, even when I think, okay, let me run through the cast real quick so that we've laid that out. So Bruce Campbell's in this movie as Ash, obviously. Then we have Ellen Sandweiss as Cheryl. We have Richard de Manoncourt. He's credited as Hal Delrich, though, maybe. He plays Scott.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
the guy that really kind of seems like he's going to be the hero of the movie for the first 15 minutes. There's kind of an alien thing happening here
Oh.
because he's the most capable one. Like Bruce Campbell gets all the
Oh.
lines, but the other guy is the one who's like, I'm going to take care of this. You know what I mean? Like he's
Nah,
doing.
I sort of hear what you're saying, but he was too much of an asshole right out of the gate.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
you got to
he's a
kill him
dipshit.
off.
but you know, yeah. Betsy Baker is Linda, and Teresa Tilly, credited as Sarah York, plays Shelley.
A lot of alliteration for their names. Is that
Yeah.
a thing about that time? Did people make their names Lucy Lawless? What are other?
Hmm.
Should I change my name?
Yeah,
Chelsea
which
Chatelander?
one do you want to change?
Oh God. That's just my like username for everything since college. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, mine's Cataway. So. Well, you could be Chelsea Celeste, like different
Yeah, there you go.
mouth
That's
sound,
true.
but same.
Thanks
yeah.
for giving away my middle name, bitch.
I made it up. That's her pet's name.
Great.
It's her
Let's
mother's
see.
maiden name.
It's been about 30 minutes, so I'll go ahead and cut that out. Not really. I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, so you have this tiny cast. They're in the woods in a cabin. That's the whole jam. And and yeah, it's a group of teens, college students, something.
Great question.
They don't really say.
I guess they don't. I was assuming college.
Young
though.
professionals.
Young professional. No, they're
No,
not.
no, definitely not. I don't know. why I
Young
said
rural
that. I take
professionals.
that back.
Yerps.
So, but they literally are college aged.
They
And
are.
watching it, I was like, man, I know we've talked about it before, but people just age different now.
True.
Yeah.
Like we just look younger longer.
Oh, absolutely.
Not all of us.
Not all of us, Nate.
Yeah, I know. You remember though, I fought in World War II, so I look
Oh,
pretty
that's right.
good.
You look great.
Yeah. But yeah, so the plot of this movie is very simple. The five of them are driving up because good old Scott has a lead on a dope cabin that they get to just use for the weekend, and they're gonna go have. They don't even allude to this movie doesn't do the shoe leather of like we're gonna go up for a sexy weekend. Like they're just going on a trip together. They
Yeah.
are singing
Yeah.
some sort of folk song, maybe a Bible standard on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They're just singing
yeah.
they're singing a jaunty little tune, driving up into the hills. The only thing that would indicate that anything could go wrong here is that they almost get run off the road by a truck that they don't see
Yeah.
because things are different out in the country. I think that's the implication.
True.
I think the implication is like, you guys don't know these roads or this place. Watch out. And they
Watch
don't.
out.
In other movies, it's when they stop for gas.
Right.
That's when they find out it's not the right place to be.
This
So,
movie doesn't have money for another actor, so they don't stop and talk to anyone.
in the original screenplay, and maybe they filmed it because they ended up cutting a ton.
A lot of, yeah.
Yeah, they were going to stop at a gas station and a guy playing a banjo was going to be like,
Every time.
don't go up there from Pet Sematary. And you know what? He was right. Sometimes dead is better.
It is.
Oh boy, my brain just spiderwebbed across Stephen King because The Shining came out like the year before this movie, and the famous Stephen King tagline for Evil Dead was like the most ferociously original horror film of the year.
Aww.
Yeah. Stephen King loved this movie. Stephen King
Loved
is
it.
sort of responsible for the fact that it got picked up and widely released 2 years after the actual release. So it's not until 1983 that it gets distributed, I think, by New Line.
Yeah. Mhm.
And yeah.
And Sam
and
Raimi
it's-
was in the Shining TV miniseries. Am I
What?
making that up?
What?
What?
I'm not. I looked him up. He's an actor in it. He plays someone. Maybe the guy at the gas station.
I hope it's the guy at the
I'm gonna
gas
have to look at that.
station.
I'm
Was that
sorry.
guy at the gas station in The Shining?
He is
Oh, he's
gas
in
station
this-
Howie in 1997's TV miniseries The Shining.
Which I prefer to the film.
So does Stephen King.
That's the hottest take on this show ever.
I mean, and I'm being genuine about it. I know I said it like I was being a shithead. I do not care for the movie The Shining. I love the miniseries.
You like Steven Weber,
yeah,
croquet
and-
mallets, poorly
Yeah.
CG'd topiaries.
I mean, you know how I feel about CG.
Yeah,
It's that end part with the where they talk to each other on the just the
I
phrase, the
just-
kissing. That's what I've been missing. So cute.
Aw,
So adorable.
The
cute.
miniseries ends on the note that the book does, which is like,
Yeah.
this is about redemption and self-sacrifice in the face of evil, rather than just like, evil's evil.
Right.
But we'll talk about the first Shining miniseries adaptation at some point in the podcast. We don't need to do it all now.
Oh, hopefully
we're
sooner
falling-
rather than later. So excited.
We're falling prey to Spider-Man 3 syndrome, trying to cover too many movies.
But yeah, in this movie, they're all okay. They're all supposed to be Michigan State students. They're going up. Ash and his
okay.
girlfriend Linda, his sister Cheryl, and their friend Scott, and Scott's girlfriend Shelley. They're gonna go to this cabin. They're in rural Tennessee. The movie is actually
Oh.
filmed in rural Tennessee. They get this cabin. It turns out it's really cold
girl
when
his
they're doing
sister?
it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. Did you
Yeah.
say that and I missed it? Apologies.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
They
Rural
so they-
Tennessee. I'm sorry.
they get up there and just spooky things start to happen and I think in a very effective way. I think that the initial spook of this is great because that bench moving back, the sort of
Yeah.
rocking bench,
The
Mhm.
porch swing. That's
porch
like,
swing, that's what it's called,
Yeah.
is swinging back and forth.
Love them rocking
And it's
benches.
really setting kind of a metronome soundtrack tone. And then when Scott gets the key off of the top of the door jamb, it stops suddenly.
so spooky.
Very
Mhm.
eerie. Nobody seems to notice but Scott, maybe. They go inside and things seem, I mean, it's obviously like this is not a place that humans should be in,
No.
cabin wise. It's super gross.
Especially like, this is another thing that doesn't make a ton of sense inside the film, but I understand that it was a reference to Massacre.
Mm.
When Scott,
Scott.
that's right, Scott goes down to the cellar for the first time, and there's all those like bones and witchcraft looking stuff hanging from the ceiling. It's like, man, just think for 2 seconds that might be there.
Yeah.
Like that looks like it's warding something off to me. So we have to wonder what is it warding off? Use your noodle, Scott.
It's not a noodly bunch of people, though.
No, that's true. That's true.
The most noodle that we're really sort of given is that Ash is kind of a nerd,
Yeah.
Mm,
and we know that Ash's sister, Cheryl, is artistic because she's sitting, and our next spooky thing is she's, for some reason, sketching the clock
Yeah.
that's in the room
Yeah.
that she's staying in, and that's fine. We all like to sketch something. Look, there's not internet at this time. Doesn't appear to be a
Valid
TV
point.
at the cabin. You know,
There's barely electricity. No,
you
I
just
get
spent
it.
you just spent a day in the car driving from Michigan to Tennessee. You just want a little alone time to draw a clock.
yeah.
And then she falls into that automatic writing.
yeah.
And I was like, it didn't seem that she communicated that to the other people at the cabin.
No, that
You
is
just-
that is the interesting thing, right? So
Keep that
she's sitting
secret.
there. We watch her observe the pendulum stop suddenly on the clock.
Yeah. And not in the middle, folks.
Not in the middle, not where gravity would put it, but
Yeah.
off to the side. And then she starts scratching on her drawing paper and makes the Book of the Dead. She sketches out the profile of a horribly skin-bound book with a face on it.
Yeah. And it
Which
looks
does- yeah.
yeah. It looks well, cute.
You're like, all right. That's all right.
The what I will say that as I watched this, when I watched it the first time of the almost 3 times I watched it, I was struck by the restraint in that moment because I was bracing for her to scratch through her skin while she was going through the paper.
Oh,
Like it seemed obvious that this would go down and get really like bloody right away, but it
right
doesn't.
away.
They know to kind of
They're waiting.
we're putting the foot on the gas a little bit. We're not hitting it too hard.
Yeah, we got to say the Latin first. We got
We
to do
gotta
the
say the Latin
Latin
first.
before we go off the rails.
So Cheryl goes downstairs, doesn't say a word about this. She's
Yeah.
also been hearing whispering for like, "Hey, join us!" Right? Something is saying like, "Join us."
Yes.
She didn't say
And
anything about that either.
and the cellar, the like trap door to the cellar rattles.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
girl, tell your friends. Tell your friends. This is why I'm telling y'all about my room with the bad
Yeah.
vibes, so
Sure,
that when
yeah.
Evil Dead happens in my house, you
There's
guys
evidence.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been
yeah. We can
working
be
up
like
to it.
we're witnesses, and now we're next. They're gonna come for
Yeah.
us.
Oh.
So thanks a lot,
Stop
Kelly.
telling us.
I'm not going to read the Latin. If I find a weird book
Yeah.
with Latin, I'm not going to read it out loud. It's not going to get that far.
What if it has lorem ipsum in it, and you think like, oh, cool, someone's doing a graphic design project in here.
Now, a friend of mine is learning Latin. I'll shoot it over his way.
Great.
Say, is this okay to read out loud? And he'll say, Kelly, Duolingo didn't go that far. I don't know.
Yeah. But what you are confirming is that you're definitely a super spreader event for any sort of Evil Dead.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Big time. Yeah.
Good.
Sorry to everybody, but I host 2 podcasts, so you're all
Yeah.
you're all in danger.
So the thing that's weird is, to your point, next we go down there having dinner, and that cellar door starts rattling and then pops open.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, huh.
I know.
And the boys go down, right? Scott goes down there first, and he's gone for a long time. So then Ash has to go down also. And we get down there, and Scott gives us one of those jump scares that the guy that's going to die always has to do, right? Where he's like, ha ha ha, I fucked with you because nothing's actually scary. But then they immediately find a tape recorder and a horrible, terrifying looking book
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the outside.
And the inside is not much better.
Well, the thing about the inside that I think is adorable is that it very much looks like it was drawn by someone involved in the movie, right? Like it's not.
Oh, yeah.
There
No, it
wasn't,
was.
You know.
And in fact,
I
it
don't know
was
if-
the guy who did the makeup on the movie.
Oh.
And that sort of explains a lot, I think.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's all very competently done, but it's interesting as they're flipping through the pages. It's like, oh, this feels a little bit like
What
like
I would do.
like colored pencil or something,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
it doesn't vibe like this was written in blood a long time ago. It feels like a
Mm.
contemporary exercise in I can kind of draw spooky cartoons, but they're not that spooky.
Well, where do you think Cheryl got that number 2 pencil from?
Fair.
It's all it all comes back to the number 2. She got it from the cellar. She used it in the clock and also to stab Linda in the
That's right.
ankle.
They play the tape. They find
Mhm.
out, oh, the guy that used to own this cabin was an archaeologist of some kind,
Mhm.
who or
Mhm.
anthropologist who was studying this evil book, and is like, hey, whoops, I kind of fucked up, guys, but I'm recording myself fucking up so that it'll happen again, right? It's a very The
Yeah.
Ring sort of scenario.
Genius.
Yeah. Well, and I loved his recording because he knew the answer. Like his wife had been possessed, and we learned from him in his recording that the only way to defeat them, the Deadites, is total dismemberment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've heard of zombies where you cut off the head? Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. There's no magic. There's no magic trick here. You just got to chop them into little itty bitty bits.
Little pieces.
So as this tape is playing, spooky stuff starts to there's spooky outside noises, and then a branch comes crashing through the window. Cheryl freaks
Yeah.
out. Cheryl is not having it. She's also been saying, like, turn the tape off. And Scott insists, we're listening to the tape, whatever. And Ash is kind of like, hey, man, stop playing the tape. But he's not really
But
taking
not
his...
until after. Like he could have stopped him.
Yeah, he doesn't take a firm hand at any point. He's definitely showing his, he's the cuck of the movie, isn't he?
He's
I mean,
our
that's
sensitive soul.
But yeah, so
I mean, his sister's a hippie artist. Like,
Yeah.
they just grew up so sweet and
yeah,
pure.
they weren't ready for something like this to happen.
No.
So Cheryl goes running off into the woods because she's freaked out. She's like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
There's weird noises, and then the worst scene in the movie happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is just kind of inexcusable, I think, because it really appears to know what it's doing and think that it's kind of being clever when it does the worst part. Would you agree?
So,
And I know
Did you
Raimi has
read much?
apologized for this scene
Ooh.
too.
yes,
I
he
did
has.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as I have been able to tell, pretty much everybody involved in the movie, except for one guy who has doubled down
Oh no.
that he'd do it again today if he could.
Oh.
Pretty much everybody else has been
Is
like,
he behind
"Ugh,
bars now?
no, but I do think that he's
Was it
been
Bruce
involved in
Campbell?
No.
Oh.
No, oh God, we dare not besmirch the name of Bruce Campbell.
No. He's a sweet
He's
man.
involved
And he
in a
like
what?
I don't remember who it was. But it wasn't Tappert. It wasn't like the three guys who knew each
Good.
other as kids and movie together. It was somebody else who got tacked on later. So I don't know. Does this need a trigger warning?
Yeah, I mean, let's-
So what we're about to talk
Assault.
about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Incoming.
there's a sexual assault that happens. The thing that's frustrating, I think, for me about this scene is that everything up until the actual sexual assault happens, where the movie is really, to use something you said earlier, it's really making a meal out of this moment, as if
Yeah.
it's like, this is interesting. We're
Yeah.
pushing a boundary, and it's cool that we're pushing it, and you should see it. It's cool. Like, the whole thing works up until that moment.
Yes.
It's interesting when Cheryl goes in the woods. It's interesting what they're able to do with an effect where trees are attacking her, vines and branches are grabbing her and holding her down, and things. Like, all of that could have been completely fine, but then the ante gets upped unnecessarily to literally, like, a branch goes in to
Yeah.
penetrate her sexually and force her legs apart. And only after it has happened and we see her face, to my read, change from suffering to a sort of moment of almost ecstasy or enjoyment,
Yeah.
does the film cut away from that.
So when they filmed it, the actress did not know that they were going to do the penetration portion. That scene, the way
Oh.
that it was originally written and filmed, was just the vines. And the scene was originally written to just be like, the woods are fucked up. They're not letting us leave.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until post-production that one of the producers was like, nah, let's take it all the way. Like it. And then when the actress saw it at the premiere, they didn't even warn
Oh,
her. She saw it
God.
at the premiere with her mom. She
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
what
Yeah.
is this? And that must have been, she still seems a little salty about it. Well,
yeah.
That's
still.
fair.
Yes. But let me finish the thought. So I said she still seems, I don't know if that's still, I watched a documentary from 15 years ago. And at that point, she was still salty. Of course she was. Doubly so because even in the way that scene was originally written, she had concerns about it.
Yeah.
And she went to Sam and was like,
Oh.
is this going to be, what is this going to, I need you to reassure me. And he was like,
Oh,
no, it's not going to
no.
be like that gratuitous. And then to do that in post without telling her really fucking sucks. And it is, sucks on another level because anytime you mention Evil Dead to somebody, the first thing that
Yeah,
anybody thinks of is like, oof, tree rape. Like,
yeah. It ruins it
ugh.
ruins the movie. And it doesn't it's so immaterial to the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not it wouldn't be excusable. But if the movie was like the Deadites do this to possess people, at least it would be
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what we're going with. And it's
Right.
gross, but we're going with it. This is just so pointless
Mm-hmm.
because it's not, she isn't immediately possessed after. Everybody else gets possessed at random without
Right.
any sort of
Yeah.
assault occurring to them. So it's just torturous and disrespectful and
Yeah.
awful. And it concerns me because I watched the movie almost three times. It like the way it's edited together, it does almost look as if she's enjoying it for a moment before
Yeah.
the camera cuts. And that
Well,
really bummed me out because I was like, wait, what the fuck
yes.
is going on? Like,
Yeah.
it would be one thing to leave this in, but to do this thing where it's like,
Yeah.
this isn't a Dracula scenario where it's still problematic, but at least it's like
But
this
it's
is
hot.
well,
Like this is yeah, this is
yeah, this is just
just
like
problematic.
Yeah.
brutality. Yeah, yeah, not great, not
And
great.
I
So that
wondered,
producer is awful.
yeah,
Then
I
I did it
agree.
after.
Um, I wondered because it's not just that she looks for a moment like it sounds like she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
And I
yeah, there is.
wondered if that was put in post as well.
I mean, and it would almost have to be, right? Like
Oh.
you just ADR some moaning that
Yeah,
sounds positive instead of
yeah.
negative.
Ugh. But
Yeah,
here's what I will say. I don't think that it ruins the movie. I do think that it is a bummer. Um, and the only good thing I have to say about it is it happens early on in the film. So then it's behind us and we
yeah.
can just enjoy the rest of it
It
without
happens
having
like
to worry about it.
it happens like 10 minutes in.
It is
Yeah.
also that sets the stage for a different kind of violence that happens in the entire movie. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's like one that would cause people to walk out and not watch the rest of the movie. So like
Yep.
putting that in is not only risky, but it's like you don't need it because it doesn't fit the
Yeah.
narrative.
It's
Like exactly to
totally
your point, no one's getting possessed by this happening. Like why keep it in? Why do
That's an excellent point that I absolutely had not considered just because I've, grew up watching this movie. So I know the whole thing. You're so right that this is like this weird, it like sets it up to be like, oh, this is going to be like, I spit on your grave or whatever. Like it
Yeah, right?
sets it up to
right.
be much, yeah, you're absolutely right. And just before we met to record this, I was talking to a friend of mine about Evil Dead, and he was like, "I watched this when I was in college, had it on VHS, and the girl I was watching it with, when it got to this
Oh,
scene, she ripped it out of the VHS and pulled all the tape
oh,
out of she wrecked the tape, so because she thought it was horrible, and like,
that's fair.
yeah,
Sorry,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I mean yeah. It
it's a risky,
is
unnecessary move.
yeah.
yeah,
It's a mark of immaturity
Mm-hmm.
is the kindest way to put it, right?
yeah.
But it's clearly like if done in post-production,
I
it's a mark
know,
of not just
Yeah.
immaturity, but actual just like grossness. Like someone
just
had to really
grossness,
be like not like haha, wouldn't it be wild if, but to be like,
right?
what would be better is if we did this horrible shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it really isn't. Yeah, it would be so functional and interesting without the rape part. Like it would
yeah,
work just fine. And yeah, and it wouldn't disrupt the tone the way that it does. To Chelsea's good point, like it really wrecks the tone of the movie briefly because you're
mm-hmm.
like, I don't wait, what is going on?
I don't want to
What
Because
watch
the
this kind of
fuck?
movie.
Yeah.
because then we watch Cheryl running pantsless through the woods being pursued,
Mm-hmm.
and it very much feels like, I mean, on one hand, it feels like some of those early X-Files episodes where like the girls would be abducted or whatever, and it like the one where the high school students keep walking out on the road all like zonked
That might
out.
be the
Oh,
first
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I
I think
think
it is actually the first episode.
we talked about that. Yeah.
We did.
Oh yeah, if Chelsea knows it, it's definitely the
Go
first
back and
episode.
listen to the podcast, Nate. Come on. But
Oh.
we have this image that's interesting enough, and it would have been interesting without that.
Just before we get too far away from X-Files, let us all take a moment to remember that Bruce Campbell was almost
also
cast
in
as Fox Mulder.
Which, I mean,
what?
Yeah.
That would have been great, though.
that is an
It would have been
alternate
a very
universe I would
different
like
show.
to check out. It would have been wild. I
It
mean, he
would've-
would have been
it
watching
still
a
would
lot
have been
more porn.
incredible.
But yeah, because then the movie just sort of doesn't address it again, and in this.
Thankfully, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It becomes
Because it was post-production, so it should have never been addressed in the first
Yeah.
place.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the problem. Like, Cheryl is the most abused woman in, like, she's the most repeatedly abused because all the women in this are abused. That's ultimately
Yeah.
what happens to all the women who are, unfortunately, very flat characters also. They don't really have
Mhm.
anything going on. There's not a lot of interiority. They barely talk to each other, even in ways
the
that
Bechdel
would...
Almost
I don't-
certainly not. No.
I don't think it does. Like, unless
I can't imagine
unless
how it could.
unless the conversation about guessing what cards they're holding counts as passing the Bechdel test because they're not talking about men while doing that, but they're not talking about anything.
But you're right.
I mean, it's a loophole.
I don't think that was 30 seconds or whatever. What's the Bechdel limit?
Yeah, it was barely anything. But yeah, the fact that, okay, so we watch Cheryl run away, we watch her run back, she's panicked, and again, nothing is said. It's not treated seriously, really. In
Well,
some
again,
very
it was
like
added in post. Like,
well,
Yeah.
but even the reaction to, with all of that horrible shit added in post, if we were all in a cabin in the woods and one of you came back covered in like branch scratches
wounds.
and
Mhm.
wounds, and your clothes were tattered, and you were like, "We have to get out of here," I think it would be outlandish for me or any other person to be like, "Oh, geez, like you're acting crazy."
Yeah.
This did also happen in the remake. They didn't not do it in the remake. I just also want to bring that up, is that they had, and the girl came back, and she didn't say that happened to her, but she was like, I think something's here with us.
Oh, with the like the tree thing happened in the remake?
The tree thing happened in the remake.
God, I guess I sort
It
of
wasn't
remember that.
as intense. I don't know.
Well, they make
maybe I
up
should
for it with
rewatch
another
it.
scene
Oh,
in
God.
the remake.
But I
Make
think
up
that
for it.
like I remember that happening, and the way that it happens. I don't think that there's any enjoyable moment in it for her, and I think that that might be the redeemable part, but not by much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But they did try to just push the boundaries in the so.
Yeah, boy, they were like, we're gonna make it gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this movie's pretty gross.
It
like,
is.
Yeah,
it's
this movie is pretty
it's
gross.
already pretty gross.
Did you read at all about ingredients, I guess,
Yeah.
they use to make all the bodily fluids?
Is it Caro syrup and something else?
Well, Caro syrup and red dye is pretty standard for blood in
A little bit of
in
cream?
low budget. Yeah, they use
And some glue.
cream and blue. Interestingly, I think that this is something that we've discussed before, to get around the rating system. Like if there's a ton of like red blood or yellow piss, then
Oh,
you
yellow
inch your
piss
rating.
as well.
yeah,
Huh.
poop also. Pretty much any
The
bodily
more you
fluid.
know.
Yeah, if it's the
Huh.
correct color,
What
you
if
inch
you're
yourself closer to
bleeding
like an
yellow?
R. That's
Yeah.
okay. Which is why Sam
Oh.
Raimi was like, let's make the bodily fluids weird colors to like make sure that we don't get like an X rating.
It was very gross looking. They did a
It
good
was
job.
very gross.
Yeah.
So yes, some
It
of
was
it was cream,
worse.
some of it was oatmeal.
Yeah, I was gonna
Some
say
of
like
it
there was some
was
cottage cheese
creamed
energy.
creamed corn.
Oh,
Okay,
cottage cheese. Oh my
that's what I
God.
thought the cottage cheese was.
I'm
Then yeah,
gonna
cream corn
need
would
to-
do the yeah,
Creamed
yeah.
corn.
Absolutely. That's great.
So
I'm
gross.
just gonna go throw up really quick.
So foul.
Make sure you don't throw up
Oh.
realistically, Chelsea, or this podcast is going to get an X rating.
He's
Wow.
right. Get that creamed corn. Creamed
Oh.
spinach would be real bad too.
Ooh,
I mean, really, like
interesting.
you
Huh.
cream a lot of stuff. It doesn't look good in a lot of
Jeans,
contexts. Yeah,
Etc.
serious. Creme de la jeans.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I agree. If any one of you came into the weird cabin that we're staying in and you were like, the woods attacked me,
Oh, yeah. Let's fucking go.
I don't know that I would say let's fucking go, but only because we have to go through the woods in order to go.
Fair, yeah, sure.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Let's get airlifted out of here.
Let's get airlifted out. Yeah.
It would be reasonable to question what's the
Salt
strategy
circle?
here, but
like we're going.
Immediately.
We just
Yeah.
salt circle. Fucking salt
Immediately.
circle.
yeah.
Chelsea, is that in your go bag?
It will be after today.
Good.
But yeah, they kind of treat Cheryl like she's being hysterical. Though to Ash's credit, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna take her home." So they go get in the car,
Yeah.
and Ash decides to drive. Now Scott thinks the rest of us will stay here because this cabin clearly still slaps. So we're gonna hang out.
What are you doing?
We
Scott, get
played
out
a
of
haunted
there.
tape player. The cellar opens itself, and
He just wants to get laid, man.
yeah,
Well, but here's
probably,
the
but they don't
thing.
even get that overt about it.
No, not at all. And it's Ash and Cheryl who leave. Ash leaves Linda, his girlfriend,
Yeah.
at the cabin. So
Yeah.
does Scott think that there's going to be
A threesome?
a threesome?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows what Scott thinks?
Not a
Scott
lot.
doesn't display a lot of thought. He doesn't
No.
vocalize a lot.
True.
I mean, when Scott gets got, it's because he kind of stupidly walks into a space with no situational awareness.
Yeah.
Uh,
But do you know what I think is an interesting subversion here with Cheryl getting got first?
Mhm.
Since we're talking about threesomes. The- so the trope in a horror movie is that the whores go first, right? And I'm using that word intentionally. Like, that's the trope. We all learned it from Scream. Rule number 1, don't have sex.
Yep.
And I think that it's interesting that Cheryl gets possessed first because she's like the most sexless one of them, right?
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have a partner on this trip. She's somebody's sister, so she's like not even a sexual prospect in that regard. And also she's like kind of a bitch. So it's like she's totally sexless. She's not a fun time. And yet she's the one who gets got first.
yeah.
And then we see another really interesting subversion in that we have a final Bruce.
Dude.
Yeah, we got a final boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I wonder if they did that on purpose or
In the same way that a final girl would just, take all the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, Ash
Mhm.
does as well. Like,
for sure.
I mean, you could just put an actress in for Bruce Campbell throughout this movie, and the movie would work.
Yeah, it would be like the ending
remake.
sequence of Dead and Breakfast.
Oh, God. I love that movie so
An
much.
important
this-
drop.
Sorry.
Oh.
Listen to Never Show the Monster. The Dead
Oh,
and
I thought
Breakfast
you were
episode.
hinting at Dead and Breakfast being
We just
in-
want to talk about Dead and Breakfast being the best movie ever.
I mean,
but
it is the best movie ever. It's still not streaming anywhere. I just checked.
no. One day,
One day.
if it ever
I
starts
mean,
streaming, it's because of us.
I'm going to just set up a Plex server. I'm going to bring it to the people. But this movie, or I guess Dead and Breakfast, does remind me a lot of Evil Dead. There's, low budget, miserable filming circumstances. Like,
Yeah.
you can just feel it. It's palpable.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
brings up sort of a like, does that make does that make for like interesting horror when
Low
it's just
budget?
not?
Low
Yeah, the
budget.
low budget. I mean, the low budget thing with horror
Low
makes
budget and
sense because
passion.
it's kind of always been like horror's the genre that you're gonna be able to get a small amount of money for because they know you're gonna make your
Yes.
money back, right? If they give you $1 million, you're probably gonna make 1 million too. Everybody's happy.
But
And
you
all
didn't
you had to
know.
do was be
I
like,
don't think that
Not
that's
all
right.
the time. We've
well, pretty,
watched some shitters,
well, no,
if I'm being honest.
but some of the, but in
You
fairness, some of
watch
the,
hashtag horror with
well,
us. So
sure.
what are you talking about?
Well, but what I'm saying is like the shitters that I've watched with you and the ones that you have talked about that I've heard you talk about are all movies that try to be overly ambitious with horror.
Oh,
And they
okay.
end up breaking
Mm.
themselves because it's like, yeah, hashtag horror is not good because it's dumb. It's doing dumb
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Like if
No, that
hashtag
was
horror
like an
was
hour
just
tour
like
vision.
if it was just like, hey, what if kids murder each other? That
Mhm.
it would have made more money and it would have been a better
Yeah.
movie. It would have been very simple, right?
Just do the slasher
I think-
formula. So
Yeah.
this is I did watch a documentary about Evil Dead, and this is something that Sam Raimi discussed with the interviewer. He was
Oh.
talking about how little money they had for this, and that meant that they had to get really creative on set. So we were talking about the opening, and we see it at the end too, with the camera like zooming Deadite point of view through the woods. They like made a rig out of 2x4s in order to do that, like a DIY steady cam. They couldn't afford a dolly.
Yeah.
And like figuring out how to make Cheryl float, they had to get real scrappy. And like so much of this movie was like, what do we have on hand right now? And Sam Raimi was talking about how that really forces you to be creative in what you're creating. Creative
Yeah.
in what you're creating. And the interviewer very astutely asks, like, do you think that you lose that when you have a bigger budget? And Sam Raimi like takes a beat, and it doesn't seem like he's deciding how he feels. It looks like he's deciding how to say it diplomatically.
Right.
Oh,
How
yeah.
can
Instead
I
of
say
being
this
He's like, I
without
still want
never
money,
getting a
guys."
budget again?
Right. He's like, I want the money, and I don't want to say that people who have a lot of money who are making horror movies aren't doing a good job. But
But they're not. And it's bad.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so to your question, I do think that that is part of it. Like necessity, what is it? What's the phrase?
It's the mother of
Necessity-
invention.
There we
Yeah.
go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like if you think about so how I felt about it wasn't necessarily a money thing, but more so creative control. So like whenever you
mhm.
have a smaller budget, it's usually you're not beholden to certain
Mhm.
people. So you
right.
don't you can do what you want to do. And I saw a thing on Coppola, and he's like releasing a movie coming up that is super fucking weird. And everyone's like, this is the weirdest movie I've ever seen. But he had created his own movie studio with George Lucas. But the first movie they released was the THX something something. So it did
Mhm.
not go very well. But they like it was so they could have creative control over their movies and still have large budget, which I don't think is something that happens anymore. Like you can't have a large budget and still be in creative control. And that's something that I love about Shudder is that they will allow creative control and still give
Yeah.
you a budget. And like the movie studios will be like, here is money, do whatever the fuck you want. That will breed so many good movies and so much good innovation. But the fact is, everyone's like, I want a mechanical spider. But that just doesn't. That's what happened with Spider or Superman. But yeah, the Nick Cage Superman.
that's how
it was a
Superman
spider, and then
Returns.
That's why it did
or
not.
not Superman Returns. Superman Lives.
Something
what it was
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, whatever the Nick Cage Superman movie was supposed to have a mechanical spider. That mechanical spider then gets put in
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
Because
Yeah.
Because I think John Peters was the
I
producer.
didn't know the name. It was a producer. Yeah.
John
Was
Peters,
like,
who I
I'm gonna
think was
need a mechanical
the
spider.
hairstylist guy played by Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza, who also dated Barbara Streisand for a period of time. He was in that
Whoa.
interview. The first
It
interview with Barbara
all
Walters.
it all comes back to debut buddies. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what his name was. Yeah,
Small
celebrity
world.
hairstylist.
John Peters wants a mechanical spider, insists upon it. Can't get it because the Superman movie doesn't happen. Tim Burton doesn't make that movie. Gets it in Wild Wild West.
Kevin Smith
Boy.
doesn't write it. Nick Cage doesn't star in it. What a fucking phenomenal movie
Yeah.
that would have been.
It would have
Oh
been
my
wild.
God.
It would have been
So
wild.
mind-blowingly like the best movie. Anyway,
Man.
I have many feelings about it. But the thing is, that's what happens. Studio intervention and producers that are like, I want this dumb shit, and it
Yeah.
ruins everything. Like, if somebody has a creative vision, be like Bruce Campbell. Put your shit up for sale so you can make sure that your friend can make this movie, and then this movie's made.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy this movie was made. I'm so happy that they got the money. So, like, aside from the rape scene. Anyway.
Yeah, no, the ultimate thing here is that total creative control thing is wonderful on the bell curve, where like
Mm-hmm.
it's disastrous
okay.
if somebody's
George Lucas.
not talented, and it's disastrous if somebody becomes.
what
Did you say
Chelsea
George
said.
Lucas?
I did.
Yeah, no, I mean,
My bad.
no, it's not your bad. It's exactly the example. Like, it's disastrous when you become a George Lucas or a Scorsese or one of these, like, if no one tells you no and you have deep
Mhm.
pockets, you
Yeah.
begin to make very self-indulgent stuff that isn't actually any good.
Stephen King.
Yeah. The beauty of this is that it's the confluence of like they got just enough money to make a
Yeah.
thing, and they were a creative group of people who were like, we want to make movies. This is the movie we can make. Let's make do with what we can. And and what comes out of this is like ultimately like it's a pretty good looking, genuinely interesting movie that I think drags a little bit at the end. I'm just gonna say it. I think it starts to get a little long in the tooth as it goes on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Keep going.
Not a lot, but I think it's like it's a cool movie. It's a
Yeah.
movie that like changes the connection to horror and what horror can be, and how and like what, like 80% of horror movies now have some sort of Evil Dead root to them.
So one of the movies that we've talked about over on Never Show the Monster, where the director said, I want to make my Evil Dead, was Dog Soldiers.
Which is such a phenomenal
Another
movie. I'm
low
sorry.
budget, perfect
Banger.
film.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, banger. That movie whips. Also, this movie. We just
So
got a
hard.
lot of
So
movies
fucking
that
hard.
slap. But I have a question, and I don't expect either of you to know the answer, but maybe somebody has it. In Dog Soldiers, there
Mhm.
is a scene where the soldiers are sitting around and a cow falls off a cliff onto their campsite.
Nate, you've seen Dog Soldiers?
I
right?
haven't seen Dog Soldiers. I'm
Whoa.
very interested.
We're gonna pause this. You go watch it. Come back. I'm just kidding. Well, you
It
need to
has
watch
like
it.
werewolves
Sound.
in it.
Yeah, it's a werewolf flick.
Yeah.
Great.
It is
It is
what we
so
thought was
good.
going to be terrible.
Yeah, both
Kelly
Chelsea
bought
and
me
I-
a book when I was like going through it about Dog Soldiers, and I'm saving it for another time where I'm going through it because it made me so happy when I started reading
Just a
it.
special treat. This movie is so great. Gotta recommend it. That director made that movie with his friends, just like Sam Raimi did with Evil Dead, and they wanted to like emulate what Evil Dead captures, and they do in a unique way. It captures the spirit, totally different subject matter, looks different. But I wonder, there's that scene in Dog Soldiers where a cow falls onto their campsite, and you're like,
Yeah.
why? That is unrealistic. Like, I'm fine with werewolves, but where'd this cow come
why?
from?
Sky
But-
Cow?
Sky cow,
Sky cow.
cliff cow. And when the cast and crew for Evil Dead got to this cabin, which they didn't build, this cabin existed in Tennessee. They leased it from somebody. And when they got there, the field was like full of cows and the cabin was full of cow shit. And I wonder if the writer director Like,
Interesting.
was just doing a little
Did
like
that?
funny
Aw.
little Easter egg in Dog Soldiers. I don't know.
That's-
I'll let
That's
you know
just
when I
a
finish the book.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really fun
I'm sure
nod.
it's in
Yeah.
there.
Well, it makes me think of the movie Annihilation also. I mean, what
Oh.
spurs is thinking about all the situations where some sort of scary confrontation occurs in the tight space of a cabin.
I do
Oh.
care about Annihilation spoilers. So
I
please don't.
yeah, I'm not gonna say anything other than yeah, there's a sequence where they're in a cabin and a
Okay.
scary
Yeah.
thing happens. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But it's
And
What about
interesting.
signs? Let's keep talking about
Yeah.
movies where scary things happen in close spaces.
woods.
Mm,
Cabin by the
yeah.
Lake.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin fever,
Well,
yeah.
Cabin by the Lake happens in the lake, not the cabin,
Okay.
right?
I don't remember.
The cabin in
Okay.
that one is a mislead. Everybody's like, "Oh, watch out for the cabin." No,
The
no, it's the
cabin. No,
lake.
it's the
Red
lake.
herring.
Yeah.
You'd think that the red herring would be in the lake, but no.
Yeah.
That's
Cabin.
another
Yeah.
red herring.
Mm.
It's very fishy. So
Uh,
We're doing it.
we're doing it. So okay, so we're back to the plot of the Evil Dead. Cheryl and Ash try to leave. They can't leave. The bridge is down. The only bridge, the only
I know.
strange rickety bridge that they barely made it over in the first place,
Yeah.
which is one of the pieces of humor that I think does work really well in this. Is they're like, "Oh yeah, this
Oh,
bridge is
yeah.
probably fine." There's like a sign that
Yeah.
says, "Do not use this bridge under any circumstance." They're like, "We're cool. Let's go." The like the entire left side of the car falls through as the bridge breaks, and they're like, "Let's just floor it. We'll be fine."
We're fine.
And they do.
with recent events, I would not try that.
No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like a key bridge in Baltimore situation. You don't want to
Yeah,
floor
I'm
it.
just gonna hold my breath every time I go over a bridge.
Yeah. So they can't get out. So they go back. And they're hanging out. Ash listens to the tape again, finds out about you got to dismember them completely. And Linda and Shelly are playing spades, and then Cheryl just starts calling out the cards. And this is a genuinely cool bit of writing. Like,
This was cool.
I like this because it's just uncanny enough that it really
Yeah.
does set you into Spooky Town. And then we get her transformation moment, which is we're going to turn you around. Your face is all made up. You got white contacts in, and we've got some sort of crane or someone is on the roof holding you up by a rope. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's gotta be. They definitely did not have a crane.
Yeah.
Just one guy really sweaty. Oh, Sam
Yeah.
Raimi. Oh.
Yeah. That's
It
that's
was
how he first
probably
started
Bruce
getting
Campbell.
sweaty, and he
Got
never
sweaty.
stopped.
Moist.
So they have this confrontation. The Deadite Cheryl comes flying at them, gives them a little bit of exposition about how they disturbed her sleep by playing the thing. And then she stabs Linda in the ankle with the pencil,
Oh, and
which
it lasts
is
10, 20 minutes.
so gross. Yes, because it goes in and we're watching stuff ooze out of it. And it just holds there as the pencil keeps getting turned and turned and turned until the point where you start, like, I started to feel it in my own ankle where it's like, which you mentioned, I think, Chelsea, about like wrists and stuff. It's the same
Yeah.
thing for me.
Mhm.
Like certain things, when you see them, you just kind of get like squicky in
Yep.
that
Yeah.
spot. So yeah, gross, effective, but very
Right
gross.
now, I am
So
currently trying to like
effective.
stretch my ankle so I don't think about it. So now I'm gonna have to put pressure on it. So I
I also,
know that it's
looked
not
up-
getting cut into.
well, hopefully not. I've got the room with the bad vibes. Who knows what's happening here? I just looked up and we were all three grimacing in
Yeah.
a rictus of pain.
Yeah, it's so well done and so disgusting. And we
So
just watched
gross.
this, and we also get a very like a pretty good. Ash gets thrown into a bookshelf, and I'll say
yeah.
bookshelf, but it's actually just like it's a wood rack that's
Yeah.
not secured or anything. But Bruce Campbell clearly, like in the take that they had to go with, expected it to come down sooner because you can see him be like, eh? And then it hits him a second late, and you see him kind of fall. So it's very authentic looking, even though it was probably kind of uncomfortable for him. And then Scott finally throws Cheryl into the cellar and they lock her inside.
Yeah.
And then we get our next very tropey but very implausible thing, which is they all sit around deciding what the hell they're going to do
I
now.
Mhm.
Instead of getting into the car and driving in any direction. Like, I don't
No,
know. Like, if the bridge
absolutely
is
not. Why
out,
would you do that?
like, do something. Do something. But they don't. They decide to hang out and they bicker. And
Well, part of that though is Linda just had her ankle ripped to shreds.
this is true, yeah. Yeah, Linda can't really walk.
Yeah.
And but Linda's kind of a trooper about it. Like, they don't spend a lot of time really having anybody be hurt or act like they need anything. They're just like, okay, you're laying down and we put a cold compress on that
Yeah.
giant gaping wound. So you're
Which is
cool.
for sure infected. Like,
Yeah.
you are losing that foot. I'm sorry.
It's 1981. That
total
might not even be
dismemberment.
graphite. That might be lead poisoning.
Oh, good point.
You know?
When did we take
No.
lead out of pencils?
I don't know.
Listeners, write in
Not soon
debutbuddies@gmail.com.
But yeah, so they bicker about it. Shelly goes to her room, or her and Scott's room. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And she hears a weird noise, looks out the window. We get Deadite Cam comes swooping in.
Mhm,
The glass
mhm,
breaks, and then we get Scott coming in to check on Shelly, and she's not anywhere. And Scott doos his way around the room, waiting for something to happen. He goes up the closet and slowly draws a curtain on the closet, and nothing happens. And then suddenly, ba-boom! She's a Deadite too.
She's a
Man.
Deadite.
And we get the extreme close-up of of her claws running down his face and
Ooh,
blood
that's another one.
pouring, which yeah, another very effective moment
That got
that you
me.
can feel.
Mhm.
And then he fights her off and throws her into the fireplace. And she catches on fire.
And when he axes her body into tiny pieces, he went into that like a little too fast.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like Scott, it
They've
was
had
only a
some
matter of
trouble.
time before he
Yeah.
dismembered her with an axe. Like, he had this ready to go. He was just looking for an excuse. And maybe that's why he coordinated this whole cabin situation.
Like, I know it's gonna happen. I can finally get rid of her.
So what
God,
you're saying is
God,
this
slice her up.
is a breakup movie? That's all it is the whole time?
This is
It's an inverse Midsommar.
yes.
Yeah, because he really does. He throws her into the fire. We get the sort of hilarious, fun effect moment that, like, she gets burned and they drag her back, and now her regular hair is now just clearly a black wig that has been permed.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, thank you for pulling me out of the fire. I don't know what I would have done if I burnt alive." And then
There it is. There's another joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just immediately takes the axe from Ash because Ash won't do it.
Oh.
And as she gets up, like, you see her come up in the frame barely, and he brings the axe down right
But
away. So there is
before-
no.
We go to that. He
Yeah.
does end up like trying to cut her wrist, and she was like, "Bitch,
Oh.
I will cut my own wrist. Thank
Yes.
you." And I was like, "Whoa,
Ugh.
whoa."
Ugh.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't. This is too chaotic for me.
Yeah,
Girl,
'cause he-
especially if you know that dismemberment is the only thing that can stop
Yeah,
you.
you're like,
And you're so fearless to be like, I'll do the first dismember. Like, whoa.
I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
'cause
this
he-
what you
he-
want?
He stabs
then
her
you're
with
like,
the
well,
Sumerian dagger, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
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 mhm.
And then she takes it, and she bites through her own arm.
Oh.
It's
Yep.
disgusting. It's
And you're like,
again.
okay. I mean,
Oh.
all right.
And the sound design is intense also because it is very crackly and wet and all
Yeah.
the things.
I
that
heard they
you-
used chickens.
Yeah.
Which sounds like salmonella probably went around for their sound department. I would
They-
assume.
Their sound department was 2 guys, one of whom was Sam Raimi. Uh,
Checks out. Checks out.
And they did get salmonella and poop a lot.
That
there
happens.
were a lot of sick people on set because it's the dead of winter and it was the coldest winter on
Oh, yeah.
record in Tennessee, and
They all stayed in that house, right?
They
Or
all
that
stayed
cabin.
in that cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had very little power. Like they'd run enough electricity to like have that one bare light bulb. And so they were all just frozen and yeah, sick. Everybody got sick. But yeah, raw chicken. They just stabbed a bunch of raw chicken for all the body squishy.
Yeah. So it's so good. And so again, like
Effective.
no
God,
budget, very effective. It's real. These are just sounds that they are extra disgusting because they are familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That adds to the thing. There's nothing alien about it. It's just like, no, I know that this is the sound of like raw meat hitting something, and that
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable because it tracks. It feels legit.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what my insides sound like, probably.
I am all squish bits when I'm opened up.
No, I'm just meat.
Yeah, we just meet.
Ew.
Okay, I'm vegetarian now. Thank you all for
Hate
this.
this. Opt out.
So to Scott's credit, he's like, well, we gotta bury her. I chopped her up. We gotta bury her. So they go bury Shelly, and then Scott's like, hey man, I'm going. I gotta get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go, he presumably for help, I think. He's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go get help, but he might just be going to disappear. Turns out that it doesn't work out for him. The trees got to him too. We don't see what happens. We don't see what the trees do. We kind of know what the trees are up to from earlier, so we can presume some things. And he comes back real messed up.
Yeah.
Like he is at death's door when he finally creeps his way back into the cabin.
Well,
he just dies on the couch,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah. And poor Ash.
Yeah.
When he
He
finds
keeps-
him dead.
Well,
That
he's giving
was-
him water, right? He's still treating him
Yeah.
like he's alive. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
I know. And then he falls out. Like it was a very it hinted at what they cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
So originally when they first the first cut of it, I guess, was like closer to 2 hours long. And there was a bunch of Ash dealing with the grief and like guilt around having to. And so this is like the only part in the movie we really see that was part of it at some point. But yeah, then when they saw that cut, Sam Raimi and co were like, I mean,
Too
the
much.
movie's pretty grim with just the horror stuff. Maybe we can
Yeah.
cut out.
It would make it really hard to leap to Evil Dead 2 from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this leaves some doors open. Scott dies, and then Ash goes to check on Linda. And Linda is also a Deadite.
Yeah.
And she has the Deadite Linda has dolled herself up in a very schoolgirly sort of energy. And so we get a lot of creepy baby talk as she kneels in a doorway and cackles and moves in a kind of like jolting, uncomfortable way a lot, and lots of like tipping the head back and like really quality creepy stuff. This is a little bit where the movie kind of dragged for me though.
Oh.
Just
Say
that
more.
it feels like there's a good 5 solid minutes of Ash standing there while she sits in the doorway.
Yeah.
And he kind of just keeps
yeah.
listening to her say more and more obviously evil stuff and doesn't
just
really
like, "This is
move or take
fine."
any action. Yeah, he's just kind of like, I don't know what to do.
And Scott also said, kill her, right? He was like, kill her, kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think we all agree you should probably go
should
kill
kill
her
her.
right now. Like,
You should kill her.
we're on the same page.
And you can get his conflict because he doesn't want to kill his girlfriend. Like, that's
No,
not why
that
he came up
happens.
here. He's not
Yeah.
Scott. He didn't come on the trip to kill his girlfriend.
True. Good point.
In fact, he came on the trip to give his girlfriend that little necklace.
Yeah, that
Cute.
Weird
horribly cheap
magnifying
necklace.
glass. Yeah. It's like,
And-
all right, that's fine.
Yeah, in the original screenplay, they were going to use the magnifying glass to like
See
a
them?
little kid with a magnifying glass would kill ants to
Oh.
ignite the Book
Oh,
of the Dead.
fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed like that's what was trying to happen at that one
Yeah.
point, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
No, at
I
some
would
point
very
during
much have liked if
filming-
that came through, but I understand why not, because that's kind of a tricky thing to pull off. You need
Yeah.
sunlight and things like that.
Yeah.
But we do get a cool moment, and this is a very tropey thing also of, she's possessed. He gives her the necklace. She holds the necklace and becomes suddenly dispossessed, right?
Mhm,
We get a
Yeah.
brief moment of, I'm okay, save me, help me, right? Which
Oh.
which I thought was was very well played. I think that was a good
Yeah.
moment to have, because
Yeah.
he's like holding a shotgun on her face when she suddenly changes, right? And
Oh boy, that was a real shotgun, and they used live ammo.
Why would they do that? We
That's-
all
Because
know
they
what happened to
couldn't-
Brandon Lee and the
They
Crow. That
couldn't
was
afford
before
the fake
that.
stuff.
Oh my god.
this is all very bad. This is all very
I
bad
know.
stuff.
This
I don't like
could've-
that. Why would they
this
do?
could-
Ah!
It could have been so bad.
I'm very upset. That goes against a lot of union rules, right? Like
Mhm.
So
even at that time, that had to have been wrong.
Yeah, it's
This
bad.
was
It's
not a
real bad
union.
news.
movie.
Okay.
That is
Definitely.
why those actors used pseudonyms, because they were union actors, and you get penalized if you
Oh.
are in a non-union movie. And in fact,
The more you know.
the gal ended up being suspended from the union for like 6 months.
Shit.
of it.
Okay. Well, I had no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not happy with the turn of events, but
Right.
Yeah.
now the alliteration makes sense.
And it's an
Yep.
interesting thing because at the time, I'm sure that was like, fuck you guys. I got suspended. I can't act for 6 months for this shit. And then in retrospect, maybe it's a little bit like that movie was actually pretty cinematically important. So I guess I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ash finally does have to kill Linda. So he stabs her with the
Oh, wait.
dagger.
Wait, first though, I also liked that moment of dispossession because
Oh, mhm.
then immediately Cheryl in the basement is like, "Me too. I'm
fine.
also
Yeah.
also normal now." And so it was like a real good fake out.
It was
from
it was a good
Demon.
fake
It was
out,
so
and
sad.
it is that is one of the things that becomes a like trilogy through line, right? That Evil
Mm.
Dead 2 does a lot of that where they toy with him.
Yeah.
They start toying with Ash more and more. It becomes more playful and teasing and things, and he becomes more and more like bored of being teased as
Yeah.
this series of movies goes on. But yeah, really, really effective that because that is one of those moments where you look at, okay, Ash is your final boy. He is clearly the most sensitive and most written
Mhm.
character in the whole movie. He's got the most lines. He's actually doing things and seems to care about people. And he's put into this position of like, both my girlfriend and my sister are both okay now. What do I
Right.
do?
Yeah.
When he's already conflicted about the idea of having to kill them. Yeah, real pull at the heartstrings. But yeah, they do immediately kind of come back. He won't dismember Linda. Doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he ends up decapitating her
Idiot.
with a shovel because she just keeps getting back up and attacking him.
This was a cute little, not in this scene. It's not cute.
I
but
was like, what are you talking about?
let me pick a different word. This was a funny little callback that
Okay.
they did, because earlier in the movie when Ash gives Linda the magnifying glass necklace, they are doing that, like he's pretending to be asleep and she's like peeking at him, and they're like doing that little like flirty game, and then we see that here where he's like digging her grave and he keeps like looking over to see if she's pretending to be asleep, which she is. Like, what a funny. That's just
Yeah.
funny.
That's a good
I was
point.
like,
I didn't
"Haha,
even think about
That is
that, but
funny.
now I want to go back and watch that again because that is good.
That is
That's-
cute.
2.5 times."
I know. Well, obviously I didn't pay attention.
Can
But yeah,
we-
so he does end up having to decapitate her with a shovel, and then he gets all bloody, and now the decapitated body tries to get busy with
Ugh.
that.
Yeah,
that was pretty gross.
that was
Yeah.
weird.
Did not
Yeah.
love that.
And
I guess that that's another when I was like, oh, that's not the vibe of the film. That might be a little bit of
It
a
at least does sort of tie that loose end or attempt to that, like, hey, the
Yeah.
Deadites are
I guess so.
into
They're
non-consensual
horned up.
sex.
They've
Yeah,
been-
they're
they've been
doing.
asleep. They're randy. But yeah, they did they put that in because they were like, the weird part where the vines spread her legs apart, even though the
Yeah.
penetration was put in post, it did have that hint of it. It just
Yeah.
wasn't as gratuitous.
Right.
They put this in to be like, we're not just doing it to the girls, okay? So don't think that.
Ugh. Well, that's equal opportunity, but
Yeah.
not in a good.
But also
right.
not necessary.
Yeah. So Linda's decapitated. I'm
Yeah, Linda's
hydrated.
decapitated.
Everything's good.
Yeah. Ash runs back to the cabin and finds out that Cheryl got out of the cellar. Guys, Cheryl got out of the cellar.
Not good.
It's not good. Cheryl appears, tries to choke him. He escapes. He shoots Cheryl in the face with the shotgun.
Real
Yeah,
shotgun,
that was
live
intense.
shells.
What did
Really
it hit?
cool effect. Really good makeup.
I know that they used masks. Like I mean masks. Masks is the word. The the one art
Like the Jim
SFX
Carrey
guy.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody stop me.
Yeah, that's right.
Smoking.
So I don't know. I guess a model.
Yeah. Very cool. Weird. Missing face flesh effect
Mhm.
happening. Ash barricades the door. And then Scott. Boom. He's a Deadite
Yeah.
now. He's back. Scott attacks him. They knock the book close to the fireplace. This is where the element of fire begins to take hold in a non-necklace capacity, apparently. And Ash, here another good effect, which has been done several times, including like on Game of Thrones to Pedro Pascal. But this whole like eye gouging with the thumbs
God,
thing
yeah.
that is so gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
God,
That
we're hitting
happens.
all the humans' weakest points: ankles, wrists, eyeballs.
We're just everywhere where there's squish potential gets
No,
squished.
everybody stop squishing.
So he gouges Scott's eyes out. He pulls the branch out from Scott's stomach, and that makes him bleed out and fall to the ground.
Thought he pulled off his wiener. Absolutely thought it was a wiener pull. Was not until I was reading stuff after the fact where they were like, it's a branch, everybody thinks it's a wiener. And I was like, God damn.
Well, maybe then it must be intentional. If everybody thinks it's his wiener, then it has to, like, they knew that was a potential read, right?
No, they lost the continuity.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, I like the
They
movie
never
better
did
if he
that.
pulls his wiener off. I think that says something
Oh,
about,
God.
homosocial relationships. How do you deal with being the beta to an alpha and that alpha turns against you? Yeah, you whip
What
his
does it
wiener
mean
off.
to
It
be
makes
an
sense.
alpha even? Yeah.
Exactly. Cheryl breaks out again. I mean, and Scott and Cheryl keep attacking Ash. Ash grabs the book and throws it in the fire. The Deadites freeze, and then they start to rapidly decompose. This is a very cool
Which is
stop motion
awesome.
effect. It is so cool.
Probably the best scene of the entire movie. I was like, this, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It is
Wow,
fantastic.
cool.
Like, just watching it with the amount of care and time that must have gone into just getting the like 18 total seconds of watching them decompose.
Yep.
It had to have been hours of setup and slow movement and click and start and stop and I mean, just so cool. So cool.
So cool. And I'm pretty sure don't hold me to this because I'm not sure that I did enough research, but I'm pretty sure that the guy who did like the makeup and SFX and the rest always look great is the one who did the stop motion.
Oh.
Yes.
So it's like,
Well, great on him.
yeah, it felt like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe you just were the
You
wrong
have
tool
strengths.
for the other job.
Yeah.
Like we just needed a different guy for the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about that guy later.
Oh.
And
Sounds
I see
very
what you did
creative.
there.
Oh.
It's coming up. It's coming up. Some things are gonna happen.
Okay.
Hope we know his name.
And then the next
Do we
cool
need-
thing. You won't have to. I'll tell you what his name is. It's
Okay.
too
Oh.
esoteric for that.
Thank
That
God.
would be rude. Come on. This isn't the first episode. I see what you did there. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've
You know
I've
us
learned a
now.
little bit about how
Yeah.
to make the game
Appreciate
playable.
you.
This is when then after this cool stop motion effect, one of the other coolest things in the movie happens, which is gigantic
Yes.
arms burst out of these corpses.
Yes.
And
like
we
tongues.
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
very John Carpenter's thing. It has this very like
Mm,
otherworldly, Lovecraftian, super gross, super scary, spooky, weird sort of energy. And
Yep.
they're writhing around, and this is the closest that we get in this movie to like what are Deadites actually? Well, they might be these sort of giant demonic forms,
Yeah.
Mhm.
maybe. We don't know. We never really get an answer, but this is a cool moment.
Yes.
And Ash is
God.
fucking terrified.
Sure.
uh,
Fair.
as we
Yeah.
all would be. He also gets covered in a lot of blood because one thing that we didn't mention is that Bruce Campbell's last 45 minutes of this movie is lots of cutting to him and somebody throwing a bucket of like
Yeah.
And then in the
Being
next
beat
scene,
up.
there's no blood, and then there's full blood, and
Yeah.
then no blood, and then full blood.
Personally, I like
I
that.
love it.
yeah. No, it works. It works.
It's also very, it felt like Alien stuff, like chest
Oh.
burster
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
and I
this
also
feels very connected to all of that,
yes,
all of those movies from that era.
yeah. I also love when all this stuff is being essentially puked onto Ash in this stop motion scene. His line is the most relatable thing. He just goes, "No."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's how I would react for sure.
It's really to Bruce Campbell's credit too, like, and to Raimi's and everybody involved, like all this over the top gross shit happens, but Ash doesn't react big. He
No.
reacts in a very plausible,
Mhm.
like like you can tell that he's like on the precipice of vomiting into his mouth and just like peeing and pooping himself out of terror the
Mhm.
whole time, and it feels legit. It's just like, no, this poor kid is watching like everybody he loved turn to monster and then abuse him
Yeah.
with as much body
Yeah.
horror as available.
It's very funny to think of describing as the performance in this movie as subtle.
I mean, especially in
Evil Dead
comparison
is
to the other
great.
ones.
So subtle.
The Scott and Cheryl's bodies completely decompose, and then night turns to day. Dawn breaks, and Ash is able to stumble outside. But that spooky Deadite cam comes
Yeah.
sprinting at him, and the movie ends on him looking in terror and like yelping.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's your movie.
And that was they just taped the camera to Sam Raimi for that scene, and he just ran full tilt at Bruce. And in the documentary I watched, you get the few seconds afterward where they actually collided. And so
Oh my
shit.
god.
it's like this iconic scene, and then ow. Oh, so funny.
But yeah, this is a movie that's like, it's an important horror movie.
Very
Yeah.
It's by
important.
no means
Yeah.
perfect, but it's a damn, for a $375,000 budget, it is
Whew.
incredible.
And it wasn't originally that high. After principal production, they were like, shit, we have to do like pickup shots and reshoots, and we don't have the money.
And
So they
ADR.
ended up and ADR.
Oh yeah.
And so they had to go do like another round of funding.
Yeah.
Tenacious.
And it pays off because it ends up in its time being reviewed mostly positively by critics. People are impressed with this. And contemporarily, it's a big deal. And aside from the tree rape scene that we've discussed,
Mhm.
it is held in high regard as just like, this is amazing. This is what people with a vision and a passion to do a
Yeah.
thing can do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't really critically acclaimed everywhere, though. It was banned in a lot of countries.
This is true. Yeah.
Uh,
It was rated X for a while.
Yeah.
It
It was unrated for a while.
was unrated for a while.
And then we were talking about the using different colors for bodily fluids. Sam Raimi was making that argument, and they were like, it's not the color that we have a problem with.
Man, other countries doing it better than we do.
No, that even was America. Other
Oh,
countries
okay.
just fully banned. And Sam Raimi ended up having to go to court in England over this movie for violating obscenity laws. And
Oh, wow.
that is a huge part of why the rest of the franchise leans funny. He was like, okay, well, we can't go
Oh.
through that again, so we're going to do the goofy stuff instead.
Huh.
Yeah. And it, like, Germany only made it legal recently. Like, I
So
remember
what
when it hit the news.
what
Interesting.
kind of director
That's
would have
wild.
Sam Raimi been if he had not leaned into the campy or the jokes? Like, what would Drag Me to Hell be like?
Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. He did get started in more comedy stuff.
Oh, okay, good. So
So
it may have happened no matter what.
he had it in him. Yeah. And I feel like you see that a lot. Comedy and horror go
Yeah.
hand in
Yeah.
hand.
Crime Wave, the next movie he makes with the Coen brothers, is a like madcap heist crime movie. Like
I
it's
see.
more of like almost an homage, like film serial kind of, 40s sort of stuff. So yeah,
That's
he's
fun.
he's a goofball.
Yeah.
The sense is that Raimi might have preferred to start on a goofball note, but again, it's just like
Yeah.
horror was easy to get funding for because especially in 1981, everybody's like, "Oh, Halloween did well." And
Yeah.
all of
It
Yeah.
these
was a good
movies
time.
all these movies make money. And all you got to do is just like promise that people are going to die somewhere on film and you're going to make your money back. So it's just an easy way to get a credit.
Yeah. How many horror movie directors that are known for like a really good horror movie have spanned outside of horror like Sam Raimi has?
I mean, John Carpenter made a lot of weird stuff, like the like Escape from New York and Escape from LA and Big Trouble in Little
Oh,
China are
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
non-horror movies.
Hmm.
I don't know if does Wes Craven make non-horror?
I don't think so.
Not that I recall.
I should not have
Wes Craven made The Bridges of Madison County. No, that's not
What
true.
the fuck? Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, no, I mean Wes Craven appears to have solely done horror
Primarily
movies. Like I don't see anything different. I mean Vampire in Brooklyn he makes, which is kind of a horror movie, but it's an Eddie Murphy movie as well.
That really overrides the stuff.
Yeah.
Like an Eddie Murphy.
Oh, does he do
movie
does he do a Paris Je t'aime segment?
Does
Emily in
he?
Paris? Oh.
What?
He did an
Yeah, that was
episode of
Wes
Emily in
Craven.
Paris. Yeah.
Posthumously, he did an episode.
Yeah, no, he does in the movie Paris Je t'aime, Paris I Love You. He does the Père Lachaise cemetery segment with Emily Mortimer and Rufus Sewell,
Yeah.
which is a ghost segment, but
there
it
it
is
is.
not scary. It's just the ghost of Oscar Wilde. It's kind of interesting. I'm trying to think of who else. Like there aren't that many like straight up horror directors who I mean
Well,
they
was
venture
thinking,
into
James
drama.
Wan. Oh, James Wan does he did Aquaman?
Yeah.
Oh.
hmm
Yeah, so he does
Both of the
similar to
Aquaman
Spider-Man and then the Aquaman.
and M3gan,
What?
What?
Megan.
M-
Megan with the three in the middle.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about Mission Impossible 3, and I was like, he directed that? Was that what? Romero? He did primarily horror. I can't think of any.
Primarily horror.
Spy Kids? Wait, who did Spy Kids?
Oh my god, that's him. Yes. Yes. We found him.
The best genre crossing.
Well, and Romero's horror is also very funny, right?
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
all of his iterations on the, of the Dead franchise and Monkey Shines and a bunch of these movies, like they are scary, but he's
Goofy.
firmly got his tongue in his cheek.
Speaking of, I have a little anecdote from this to share with you guys.
Please do.
I'll send you a link to it. It was just on YouTube. I think I just searched on YouTube like Evil Dead behind the scenes. So in this documentary, they are interviewing people involved with the movie, and as well as people who revere the movie,
Oh.
including Eli Roth. And this
Oh.
was 10 years ago, so it's a little baby Eli.
Oh.
I don't think that Hostel come out yet.
But
What is
Cabin
his-
Fever had,
Cabin Fever.
Mhm,
which
that
mhm.
comes
probably
out-
was heavily influenced.
It was. Don't get ahead of me. So,
Sorry. My bad.
so they're interviewing Tappert, one of the producers on the film, old friend of Sam Raimi, and asking like, what are your thoughts on how influential this movie has been? And he essentially says like, well, there's this movie. What's the Eli Roth movie?
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever. He's like, there are some movies that are that like really take this to heart and run with it, and then there's this new movie, Cabin Fever, that's, well, you could call it referential, and he's clearly implying something else. And then it does a smash cut to Eli Roth, who's saying, when I made Cabin Fever, Evil Dead was very much an influence. And then it cuts to Joe Bob Briggs, who's like longtime horror talking head guy, and he says, a lot of lesser quality filmmakers have referenced this movie and they just have blood on screen and we have to deal with that. And then another smash cut to Eli Roth, who's saying, a lot of horror audiences don't even know what they want. They say that they want one thing, but then they support other things. And they say things like, oh, but it's not as good as Evil Dead. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not Evil Dead. Like, it was just this section that for some reason decided to absolutely roast Eli Roth.
It became very catty. It sounds like, yeah.
I'm like, what? Why? And
I love
then
that.
when I thought about it afterward, he was the only person they interviewed who was not directly related to the film. So it felt like they made this whole documentary about Evil Dead just for like a 2-minute section where they would be like,
To make fun of
"Fucking
him?
this guy."
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Okay, so but we're doing this to burn Eli Roth, right,
Right.
guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in fairness, like Eli Roth's movies aren't necessarily very good. Although I think Cabin Fever is one of those movies that is campy enough that I still think I like it. I
I don't remember.
remember watching it and feeling feeling similarly to the way I felt about this,
It
which is
is.
like,
Yeah.
aw, I feel really bad for everybody involved, which is a good
Oh.
sign for a horror movie, right? Like, not bad for the actors. I feel
Yeah.
bad for the characters. Like, this chain of events is just fucking awful, and a bunch of horrible stuff happens, and it's gross and nasty. And that's a movie that ends on a very like, hey, everybody's fucked note. Like, it doesn't end on
Mhm.
we win. It ends on like, the fever's
Everyone's
going
in-
everywhere.
yeah.
We're all getting the fever now.
Oh, it's a virus.
Yeah.
It's
More of
yeah, it's like a
medical-
waterborne
medical
thing.
emergency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skin falls off.
Mhm.
You know. People shave their
Ew.
skin off.
Don't do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
It does have a gas station and or convenience store that
It
they go
Got
does.
to.
to. It's got to.
Yeah.
does.
Unfortunately, I looked it up. It was not Romero who did Spy Kids. It was,
Damn.
yep, my bad. Okay, sorry,
Rodriguez though does a combination
Yes.
of horror and action
Yeah.
and Spy
Yeah.
Kids, so that's something. It
Just-
worked.
It is. It is something. Thank
It
you.
is.
Yeah,
We just got
yeah.
our classics mixed up.
Some might say
Oh.
that this whole podcast is something.
For sure.
When you're right, you're right.
You know what else is something? The MouthGarf Report.
It is.
MouthGarf Report. Open wide for some lasagna.
I hate Mondays.
You're not. When you're right, you're right.
I'm on a roll here. I'm on a roll. Let's talk about Garf. What Garfs have been in our mouths, and what
Have you
mouths we
scheduled
garfed?
your annual yet?
I have
Yeah,
not.
Nate.
I have not. No, but
Get your blood
Okay.
looked at.
hey, look.
We're canceling the podcast until
A
you get it
number
done?
of people have also noted to me having gotten blood work done recently, so it's just like it's in the zeitgeist. I'm gonna have to go do it. So
Just
yes,
How do
I
you
will.
feel about blood work? Are you concerned?
I mean, Look,
They took it from both of my hands, man.
yeah, Chelsea just has hooks now, listeners. They literally took both of her hands.
Oh, I hate blood work.
Um, I don't have any issue with having blood taken. Like that doesn't bother me. I don't feel squeamish about it.
Good for you.
There's more of a Schrodinger's health situation where it's just like I don't know if I want to know some stuff. Like I feel
That's
pretty good.
fair.
I don't want to think
Okay.
about what I'm supposed to not be thinking about. Maybe.
It's none of my business.
I think
But-
that that's also a theory that if you don't know what's going on, you won't. I don't know. I go back and forth on this a lot. So, I don't blame you for that. I don't.
But it's also grossly irresponsible to
That is also true.
breach the rampart of 40 and not at least try to figure out what the fuck is going on in here. So yeah, I'll do something about it. I'll do something about it.
All right.
I changed the old head on my battery toothbrush.
Good for
That's some
you.
exciting stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing like the feeling of some fresh, stiff bristles. You know what I mean?
God, I love a stiff bristle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me that stiff bristle.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm with Nate on this one. I know I usually say
Okay.
gross, but
We're
I'm
supposed
with
to
him.
do. Have you guys not? Like, you're supposed to do soft bristles. This is the new movement. You do soft.
Oh, I think they're soft, but they're like the thing is the head on
They're
the
not splayed
brush that
out
I had
anymore.
was it was blooming like a spring flower, and now it's back to the properly
Yeah.
closed sort
Aligned.
of design. Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, did that, and yeah. Other than that Easter Garf that I sent you all,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Crucify him.
Die for our lasagna and our Mondays.
Amen.
No, I don't feel like I have any mouth or bug or garf news.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good.
Oh my God, I have so
I'm so
much. I don't
sorry.
have any Garf part.
You got
That's
mouth and
fine.
bug?
You got
I have mouth and
Did you finish
bug.
the other two Star Wars prequels?
Fuck, no, I did not.
God
Great.
damn it,
No,
We'll talk about them next
actually.
time.
I watched this movie up until the start of this podcast.
That's fair.
I am not doing well.
Hey, no judges. We love you for being
I
here.
did watch it. I did watch a different movie though. I'm not proud. It's fine. I didn't expect to. I've had a migraine. I didn't want to watch this movie while I had a migraine.
That's
so,
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the other movie. It was about, the girl from, nope, can't even name the movie. She's got glasses and then she's not attractive until she takes her glasses off.
Oh, Rachel Lee Cook.
That's
Yes.
it, Rachel Lee
Uh-huh.
Cook. And then she goes to
I was
Vietnam.
like,
It's
Josie.
a romantic comedy. And then I didn't finish it. I was
She
just
smashed
like,
that egg to tell you not to do drugs.
Oh man,
Remember?
that movie has one of my favorite scenes where he's like doing the hacky sack, and he's like, "Gotta keep it up, Zach. You can't let him down. Everyone's looking at you, Zach. You gotta keep it up." Is his name Zach? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And yeah,
He's giving
the
Zach
idea
vibes.
of hacking as a metaphor for the burdens of adult
you can't let
expectation
it
on a
drop.
teen.
Never let it drop.
Never.
But sometimes it
That's
drops.
his
And then
spoken
you're
word
like, "Oh."
poetry. And then everybody loses their shit because he's secretly an artist.
Yeah. Why did she do poetry at her falafel shop? I am going to rewatch that movie.
She was a
We'll talk
painter,
about
wasn't
that.
She paints, but I think they have an open mic.
Oh, but she works at a falafel
Oh.
shop because she has a falafel hat, right?
Mhm.
Or a falafel, something falafel shaped.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
a
I think
falafel
it's a
just
pita
is-
hat.
spear?
Not poor, but she has a job.
Yes, because her mom has
Her mom
died, so
is no longer with
she
us.
presumably has to work to keep her dad
That's
paying the
it.
mortgage. I think is
Yeah.
Got
the
it.
energy.
And then Kieran
Mhm.
Culkin comes in and is a bitch. Is
Yeah.
that a different movie? Same movie.
No,
right?
I think that's
No,
the little
that's
brother.
it. That's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was the movie making fun of the movie or the movie itself. Whew. Anyway, my teeth. I had.
Cue the music again.
I had having your teeth shaved down for this has been the worst experience. I've gotten so much food stuck in my gums and floss does not work. The stick floss does not work. I've had to go get those things that are like gums that you're not supposed to put them between your teeth, but you get them for when you have braces to stick through the braces. But now I have gotten them to stick through my gaping gums because they've shaved my teeth down. But yeah, I'm having to do that thing where you tie knots in your floss to pull shit out, and it has been a nightmare. So
Jeez.
that is my tooth update. It is a nightmare.
Can I give you two
Recommendations?
questions?
I will take
I was
them.
going to say
Oh,
recommendations, but in case you
I'll
haven't
take
evaluated
both.
them. So, water pick, dude.
I have one. And
Okay,
even the
is
water
that-
pick was not fucking getting it.
Damn
I
it.
got it from this angle, this angle, this angle, and fucking nothing.
Son of a
For the
bitch.
listener, that
Okay.
was
It was every angle.
from 3 o'clock, from 12 o'clock, and from 6 o'clock. Nothing
Yeah.
worked.
It was not
Yeah.
good. It
Yeah.
has not been good.
Okay, and then my second recommendation is don't use like glide floss. Anything that says glide, you don't want.
I use like a satin floss or
Yeah,
something like that.
I don't think you want that.
Oh, okay.
The thing that my dentist made me get, and he was
I'm
right, I
writing
love
it
it, is cocoa floss, which I'm sure you've gotten ads
Oh.
for on Instagram.
I have not.
Okay, well, it's
We have a different algorithm.
Yeah, mine is very tooth focused.
Mine too,
Oh,
but for
God.
different
Yeah,
reasons.
I thought yours might be. No, so it's like a thick, uncoated floss. I think it's like
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
organic and earth
But
friendly.
it is made of cocaine. That's correct. Yeah.
I'll
That's
take
correct.
that as
Yeah.
well.
So
Yeah.
it's
I need both. So.
yeah.
When you need to floss all night, coca floss.
Mm.
No, actually, now that you say it, I was like, I think that's earth friendly. Yeah, it's made from like coconut husks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I've
lovely.
tried that because it's like very high grade sandpaper energy.
Ooh,
Essentially.
Like
I
it's
love
real.
that.
It's real
I
designed to
love
grab.
it.
Oh, okay, okay. You guys are selling me. I'm sold.
Okay.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna make my way to the store. I'm gonna get some of that floss. Next
Yep.
week, we're gonna have an update.
I
I'm
don't
so
know if
excited.
it's sold in stores,
Shit, I will
It
buy it
is-
online.
like a subscription thing. And here's what I would recommend
Oh, damn. Okay.
on top is when I bought it, I went ahead and bought 3 spools of it, even though I live alone.
Totally worth it. Okay.
Totally worth it. Here's why. I keep one in like every room. Your girl is always flossing. The last time I went in for a checkup, my dentist was like, damn, girl.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
that great Glengarry Glen Ross scene when like Baldwin walks in and says, "ABF, always be flossing,"
Yep.
Amen.
and then he brings out the coca floss from the briefcase.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Okay. I've got it pulled up. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna do it right after this. I have to enter in my credit card details, so that's gonna. What?
I don't know. I've disabled this setting. It won't stop.
Kelly got a haunted thumbs up bubble from Zoom. That's
Do
what
you
just
think that
happened.
those are just the bad vibe in the house?
Probably.
Yeah.
Causing the thumbs up.
It's mad that you didn't put floss in that room. You need to put floss in that room, and then it'll be appeased.
Oh my God. I'll try that.
What if there's just the ghost of dirty
Christmas
teeth
floss?
in there?
Gingivitis.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my bug news.
Bug.
Yes.
This is causing me to go buy a peephole. We do not. I don't know if I should be giving this away. By the time this comes out, I will have a peephole, I think. I have to get a peephole because some guy knocked on my door and I answered it like a dipshit. And he was like, "Do you need your yard sprayed for bugs?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Ticks?" And I was like, "Who?
Speaking your
Yes.
language.
I do not want ticks." I am wearing a cardigan covered in bees, and now I'm currently worried that the stuff that they sprayed is gonna push the bees away because they have been
Oh.
chomping down on all of the weeds in my yard, which has made it really hard in my yard. Like I have been like I go out and I pull up dandelions every day because I have so many of them. But every time I see a bee on them, I'm like, I leave this one and then I leave 2 around it. So then you have options.
Yeah.
And then I move
that's
on to
sweet.
the other ones. But I love having the bees in my yard and I don't want to push them away. But I ended up buying a bug spray plan for the time being because I do have stink bugs. You remember my talk about black widows.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have these weird hammerhead centipede worm things
Huh?
that are
Oh yeah,
like
those are you talked
toxic.
about these before too that are very
Yeah.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah. So since I have those and I found a little baby one inside the house, so it
Nope.
freaks me out a little bit. So I didn't have them spray inside the house because I didn't want to let anybody in
you've
my
got
house.
petty. You know.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna. And the reason that I did it is because my brother was bringing over his dog, and they said they spray for ticks, and I was like, perfect, he will be fine. And I forgot that he was bringing him over right after they were gonna spray,
Did we lose me? You both froze.
and just like rubbed his face in it. So it was cute, but yeah, I have bug sprayed everywhere, and I have bug and a mouth, and they're both doing bad, if I'm being honest. Attempting to make them better, but both fucking terrible right now. It's like the in between that is just hell.
But I gotta say, for having a coat entirely covered with bees, you've done a really good job training them to be quiet because we don't hear any
Yeah.
buzzing on the mic.
They are buzzing very loudly on this side. So thank you. I'll let them know they're doing a good job. It's my shitty mic.
This became so melancholy. Jeez. Listener, Chelsea has a very nice, fashionable jacket with
Thank you.
with a bee print on it. I was going to
It's the
compliment this
best.
earlier because it's super cool. But yeah. Well, that was the MouthGarf report.
Yay.
Yay!
Any plant news, Kelly? You should add in plant news because I also enjoy your plants. Nope.
No.
Never mind.
Sorry.
All right.
Uh,
We'll cut that too. Let's play a game.
Let's do it.
Yes.
The name of this game is I See What You Did There, but when we play it, you'll be saying it to me, so you see what I did there.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Mm.
And this is all going to be Sam Raimi related stuff.
Yay.
You excited? You excited?
Sure.
We
Oh, I
talked
hope
about
you
some of the
are.
things already.
Yay! It will be
Yay!
amazing if there's one of these about how juicy he is.
Yeah, number 5 is sweaty. Sweaty.
Sam Raimi.
Number 1, this is the title of the first Marvel superhero movie that Sam Raimi directed. And this is a legendary animal with the head of a man, the body of a lion, and the tail of a dragon or a scorpion.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Core.
Spider Manticore. You see what I did there.
I was like, I know Manticore.
Hell yeah. See, I knew that would go over. That was
Yeah.
gonna go over well.
In college, my choir did a whole performance, like a long, I don't know, it was like 12 songs, called The Unicorn, the Something, and the Manticore.
Oh.
I think that's where I learned about Manticore's mythology.
I think
The more you know.
manticores happened to me through video games, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
There was
nice.
some sort
What
of manticore in a non-mainline RPG of some kind that I
Okay.
played. It was like, oh, you're fighting a manticore. And I was like, what's a
Whoa.
manticore? And then you look it up and like, whoa, cool. That's
The fuck?
terrifying.
You're like, that's fucked.
What is going on
Who
with
thought
history?
of that? What nightmare happened that put that forth into the world?
God's...
Oh, the unicorn, the gorgon, and the manticore.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
That makes
Gorgon
sense.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Number 2, I alluded to the first part of this answer, so you'll know it if you remember what I said 2 hours hence. Bruce Campbell starred in this Western TV adventure show from 1993 to 1994. And this is a multi-chapter organization of women whose mission is to advance women's leadership for meaningful community impact.
Whoa.
Briscoe County Junior
Scouts? No, that can't be it.
League.
Junior
Ooh.
League. Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. It is
Hell
the
yeah,
Adventures,
dude.
the Adventures of Briscoe
the
County Junior
Adventures.
League.
Well-
Yes. You see what I did there?
All right.
Yeah. God,
Mostly.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof. Great
Yeah,
job.
you all know the Junior League, right? You're gonna sign up at your local
Yeah,
chapters
thank
to
you.
be women's leaders.
More
Eh,
of an introvert. Like to lead by example.
Number three. Sam Raimi is a Michigander from Royal Oak, just outside this Motor City. And this is a word meaning relating to or noting a development strategy that involves a cyclical process of refining or tweaking the latest version.
Detroit.
Detroiteration?
You're close. You got the right second word. It's just I want a different version.
I
I want a
them
different
together
version.
wrong?
You're going with iteration, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I want the process. It's a blank process. We don't have to fight for this that long.
No, hold on. It's a process?
Mhm.
Huh, all I
Describe
can
it
think
again.
is- yeah.
Like iterations are something that comes out of a blank process.
I think Chelsea and I are both stuck
Yeah.
in office culture.
Yeah, that's what
We're
we
both
are.
like
That's what we're
agile,
doing. Yeah,
scrum.
and I'm like,
No,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
agile.
I was just looking for iterative. Iterative.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
Detroiterative is what you would see me
Yes.
doing there. Detroiterative.
Yes.
Ooh, sorry, that took us some time.
Oh boy.
You see what I
Quarterly
did there.
planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monthly goals.
Sprint.
Sprint.
Time for a crunch. We're gonna do a team crunch.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Like the
Number 4.
candy bar?
Yeah, team
Oh,
crunch.
now that's fun.
My favorite candy bar.
Is it?
No.
Oh,
No, I don't
shit.
really like
What's your
Crunch.
favorite candy bar?
What is my favorite candy bar? Twix. Twix is the candy bar that I would get the most often.
Good to know.
And yeah, and Jenny was so lovely as to have bought me for Christmas. The stocking stuffer I got was one of those full yard long Twix box things
Jesus
that
Christ.
you see,
God.
where it's literally it's just
All right,
just
so never get you a
36
Twix
Twixes
because
in
you
a
have
thing.
enough Twixes for
No,
the rest of your
they've
life.
been gone for months. Like
Oh,
they're
okay,
so
gotcha.
delicious. Yeah. I will
That's fun.
always accept more Twix. What candy bar report. What's everybody's favorite candy bar?
Coffee Crisp.
Great.
Oh, that's good. I think
Yeah.
Kit Kat. I think I
Okay.
would love a coffee crisp if I were to try one, but
Everyone gets me Kit Kats because they are the coffee crisp that's available.
of America. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I like Lion bars also, but they're not easy to find everywhere.
What are
'Cause
they?
A Lion bar is like it's basically like it's a British Cadbury, or no, it's a Nestle thing, I guess, actually. Nestle not great. But yeah, Lion bars are usually kind of a specialty candy, but it's like crispy cookie, caramel,
Ooh.
It's the
crunchy
Twix of
rice.
the UK.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at it. It's the
but
Twix
it's
of
got
the
but it's
UK.
got a little
UK.
extra crunch factor mixed
Ooh.
in is the
Yeah.
difference. It's good.
Do they have like nuts in it?
I don't think there are any
Or is it
nuts.
just like extra puffed rice?
Yeah, I think it's puffed
Oh,
rice.
puffed
Ooh,
rice.
interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
You got
Okay.
cookie, you got puffed rice, you got caramel, you got chocolate, you got yeah. It's good. It's good shit.
Okay. Glad we got that out of the way.
I know that was a
Good
great
talk.
segment. We should do it every week. Number four. All of Tom Sullivan. That's the guy's name. All of Tom Sullivan's special effects
Yeah.
in The Evil Dead are non-digital, also signified by this word. And this Mamas and the Papas song starts with the lyrics, "All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray."
I'm gonna
Practical.
need you on the. I don't got anything in the noodle about.
Hold on.
Practical
All
is
leaves are
correct, Chelsea.
brown
Keep
and
going.
The sky is gray. California dreaming.
Great. Put it together.
California dreaming.
California dreaming. You see what I did there?
Oh,
Yes.
great job, dude.
Very
Oh.
good. Very good. I like that we
She's
got
sweating
to
now in her
we
bees
got to
are.
experience
That
the
was difficult.
process. That was great. And your bees helped?
They did.
They were spelling out the lyrics in honey
They were
behind you.
singing to me.
Spelling bee.
Oh, that was
Hey!
cute. Both of you. Thank you.
Okay, last one. Number five. Number five. This is a subgenre of speculative fiction with a tone, style, or setting that is particularly dystopian, amoral, and violent. And Sam Raimi directed a non-Marvel superhero movie starring Liam Neeson and Frances McDormand titled this.
Was it the Dark Man?
Dark
Is that what
Man.
the movie was?
Dark Man is the second part. Very good. So now I need a subgenre of spec fic.
That is dystopian.
It is dystopian,
Amoral.
amoral, and violent. And it ends in dark.
Thanks.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think.
Solar dark? No, that's not gonna be it.
I was going in that direction too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like solar punk, solar.
Can you give me some examples
Yeah.
of that genre?
Warhammer, the
The board game?
tabletop game, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Tabletop.
It created.
Apologies. I'm
Yeah,
so
no,
sorry
you're
to
fine.
everyone.
I'm not offended.
But I know that there is a listener listening who is offended. Specifically, I know his first and last name, and I might go ahead and text him and
Great.
apologize.
Yeah. Apologize now, and then in 3 months when the episode comes out,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That particular game is about a future
Okay.
where everything is war all the time.
Mhm.
That's an example of this subgenre. I think I'm trying to think of another good example of it.
Sad dark man.
There it
The
is.
Sick sad world. Sick
Is
sad
it
dark
Sad
man.
world.
sick,
Dark
sad.
Man.
I really do like that. I should have gone with something like that. Think about your other names for death as a anthropomorphized character.
More something with more.
All I can think is Burr.
Oh, good one.
What kind of Reaper?
A grim one.
Great.
Grim Reaper Dark Grim Darkman.
Grim Dark.
Dark?
Yes. Grim Dark is the
Holy
subgenre. That is what it is.
cow.
Grim Dark
Dark?
is the
Well, the-
subgenre, yeah. Grim Dark.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay. 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 There are other genres
you.
like that follow the same pattern of just mushing two words together, not
Yes.
in a portmanteau.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like pick two adjectives. Now it's
Mm.
now it's the genre. Okay.
Like
Okay.
Horrormance.
Oh.
Big thing these days. Horrormance.
Oh boy.
Isn't
People loving that.
fairy mance? Isn't that, like
I
mostly
mean,
fairies.
I could tell you right now that there is Manticore Mance.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mance to core.
It's just
There it
it's
is.
just manticore. It's a type of core
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
of consumable content.
Manti?
We got soft, we got hard, we got manty. What are you into? Get ready. You saw what I did there.
Yeah.
Let's talk Debs, shall we?
How many debs? How many debs? How many debs? How many debs?
Hold on. I have
Evil
a question.
Questions.
I have one question before we do Debs,
Yeah.
just because I wonder if it could impact any of our
Ooh.
answers. Are the trees in the woods who perpetuate heinous crimes
Mhm.
Ents?
Oh no.
No.
I knew.
No,
I said you'd hate it.
absolutely
I
not.
said you'd hate it. I knew you'd hate it.
Oh, that's the question. Dear God. That is no. It's not possible. They are neutral beings for the most part. They are not negative. They are not positive. They are just neutral.
Yeah.
And
I
rape
think
is not-
it's evidence
very
of
negative.
the
You're right.
power
It's
of
super-
the demonic spirits' ability to possess those things. But I don't
Okay.
I don't think
So
that
would
the
they
trees
possess
are
an ent?
acting on their own accord.
Could they possess an Ent? Great question.
I mean, Probably, yeah. If
Yeah, I
they're
don't like
alive.
that.
But I would also hazard that an ent wouldn't be stupid enough to read the incantation.
That's fair.
And even if they were,
Do
it would take
ents
them
speak
so long
Latin?
to read it
That
that it would
it would
almost
break
never
its
happen.
curse halfway through the first syllable. They'd be
Yeah.
like, I can't tell if that's what he's saying. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I mean, what's the
Are we being summoned?
what's the shelf life
Or
of a demon versus an ent? And then would the demon just be like, ah, fuck it, I quit before the end of the ent's trying to read it?
it's
Like I would buy that.
Someone's reading
mm.
it. It's between the first movie and the remake. The ent hasn't gotten through that syllable, so we're good.
Yeah.
They just went from the other one to the other one,
Okay.
or the second one. I'm making a huge jump. I could just make a little jump.
Now, if Kelly is talking about an ear, nose, and throat doctor, absolutely,
Oh.
very
Oh,
easily
oh,
possessable.
Oh God, for sure.
Thorough.
Yeah. So the Evil Debs, what do we think here? What do we think?
I know my answer.
I'm gonna go 4.5.
4.5.
The 0.5 is because of the tree.
Dang it,
Sure.
you're right.
It's
Yeah.
because of that one fucking producer.
Yep,
Yep.
Yeah.
you're right.
It would have been a perfect 5, but
Yeah.
that one fucking producer.
You know what? Given Evil Dead 5, given that producer, 1. Can we do 0?
Ooh, yeah, I'm
You
into
can do
that.
0 if you want. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that individual decision is the one just black mark on the whole movie.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about Sam Raimi, are we talking about just Sam Raimi as a beginning director?
No, I was talking specifically about Evil Dead.
Okay.
How does that change your opinion?
I was trying to, because I haven't seen that theme that I'm uncomfortable with in his later movies, but should I just rewatch them to make sure?
I think that he
Yeah,
knows
it doesn't.
that it was a mistake.
Yeah, it doesn't come up again, I don't think. And like he has vocally apologized and sort of walked
Yeah.
back, like, "Hey, look, it was dumb. We thought it was, whatever."
Yeah.
He's taken responsibility for that being the
That's
primary
fair.
criticism, and that's like the part of the movie that gets edited out for
Yeah.
some screenings in contemporary time and things. Yeah, I think the thing that's cool about this is it is so well done. Like you watch this, and even the way the shots are framed, the way the lighting is done, given all of the limitations, it looks like a really good professional movie. And it's just it's that part of it is that sort of the experiential gap of recognizing, like, if we tried to do this, it would not look as good. Like it would inevitably be worse because
You mean
there's some
if
knack
the three
here.
of us tried to do it.
I think we could do it.
I mean,
We could make an Evil Dead.
I think we could.
I'd do the stop motion part for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we make it all stop motion.
Yeah, that sounds
I think
great.
that's
Do
that's
it.
the best version of the movie.
Yeah.
No. Bruce Campbell.
Well, we get Bruce to come back for the movie.
Yeah.
But the biting will be in stop motion.
Yes.
Good.
Mhm.
And the stabbing stop motion.
Yeah.
Just
No.
stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More stop motion.
But yeah, it's just I think I'm just astonished at how effortless this makes making a movie seem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anyone who's kind of toyed around with a camcorder or using your iPhone camera or whatever, you realize, like, oh, framing shots is actually kind of difficult. And like making
Yeah.
sure this edits together is difficult. And the fact that they
Yeah.
took a very small budget and managed to put together something that's like, no, this is speaking the same language of budgeted films, it's impressive. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also like, it does feel very raw. Like it feels it feels gritty. It feels real. It feels tangible. Which I mean, not to go off on CG practical effects, but that is part of it, right? Like these
Yeah.
practical effects,
Yeah.
we talk about how CG doesn't age well. Sometimes practical effects don't either. But even though compared to what we could do with practical effects today, not necessarily the three of us, but like film as a
Mhm.
could do with practical effects, even though these probably didn't age well. Probably. Like, whose feelings am I trying to protect here? Didn't necessarily age well, but even with that, it's like it doesn't take you out of it the way poorly aged CG does.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it still
absolutely.
feels like
My
it's got a
ankle still
heart
hurts.
to it. Our ankles hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything here is very tangible, and
Mhm.
it's fake, but it's there, and that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's again, like, that's the problem with CG is like
Yeah.
you can tell that nothing is actually happening or interacting. This, like, a
Mhm.
pencil is stabbing into a fake ankle and it's oozing a bunch of stuff, and it doesn't really matter because there's enough there that, like, the fake ankle looks like the real ankle, and the
Right.
person's reacting as if their real ankle's being stabbed, and it's oozing in a way that, like, yeah, okay, I buy it. This is
Yeah.
gross. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it works. It works.
It works.
Ugh.
Yeah. Ew.
This was a good one. This was a good peek into horror, a nice crossover, maybe a little walk before you run as you're returning
Are you
to
trying
Never Show
to
the
push us?
Monster.
Are you trying
Yeah,
to push us to make that happen? Is
No,
that why
I-
you suggested this episode? You were like, you guys have been not fucking doing your job.
Nate's
It's
like,
fun.
if I want an episode of Never Show the Monster, I'm gonna have to do it my goddamn self.
Maybe a little bit. The other thing is like I know both of you like talking horror and it's fun. So like
It's
I
so
like to do it
fun.
with you. This is a nice, like, we should dip into this well whenever we feel like it because it's
Yeah.
really interesting, and there's a lot of, I have a lot of blind spots in horror that I would like to illuminate. So it's great.
And what a great movie to do it. This movie
Yeah.
whips.
Yeah,
And it is one of the few movies that I genuinely can't remember another time watching a movie where when the movie ended, I was like, wait, no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hold on. Don't leave me wanting more. I know they say to do that, but don't. Give me
Yeah. Give me the resolution that leaves me not wanting to watch this movie again immediately.
Mhm.
It does a great job. Maybe we come back and talk Evil Dead 2 at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it rolling
First time around,
because it will be the first Evil Dead sequel. So
Yeah,
that works.
perfect.
Listeners, next episode, we're going to be talking to you about the very first professional wrestling match. Now, is that going to be the first one that happened at a dock? Or is it going to be televised? We don't know. We're going to all bring what
Yeah.
we bring because that's how this show works.
We will.
Wait.
This is going to be a weird one.
I do have a question though.
Uh-huh.
Are we talking real wrestling or the fun wrestling?
We'll find out.
oh,
I think we're probably talking
I'm
the
talking
fun
the
wrestling, but
You
I
guys
only
can talk
do
about
fun.
whatever you want.
yeah. I think we're talking the fun wrestling. And in fairness, like, most of the real, quote unquote, real wrestling that is professional, I don't think that exists, right? It's all amateur because
I
they're
was thinking, like,
Olympians.
MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be great.
Hell
Is
yeah.
it Hulk Hogan? Is it that late? No, it's not.
No.
It's certainly
No,
earlier
definitely
than that.
not.
But
No.
what is it?
Oh, and we're going to get sad. It's going to be like the football one.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna talk about Chris Benoit for so long.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm so excited.
So join us. Join us for the first professional wrestling match. We're going to talk about that. If you like this podcast, go ahead and hit us up on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Drop a review in there. Tell us what you think of Evil Dead. Tell us if you've been possessed or are currently possessed.
Maybe don't. See a priest.
Fair. Yeah.
Mm,
Talk to
yeah.
someone about it, but you can
Yeah.
let us know. We're not against
We
knowing,
didn't talk about. I'm sorry. Sam Raimi was a producer on The Unholy. I didn't
God
mean to.
damn it.
just...
That's why I like it so
talk
much.
about possessed, and then
That's
I
why
got really
like
excited.
it so much.
The man knows his possessions.
He does.
We also didn't talk about the Evil Dead musical.
Oh.
That's going to have to be its own episode. It's just we're all
Okay.
out of time.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Good
You're
point.
right.
Good point.
While you're at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, go ahead and subscribe and rate us. We need 5 stars. Give us ratings. Tell
Please.
other people. We want other people to listen to this too. You're great. There's nothing wrong with you. You're enough.
Mhm.
You're more than enough. But we want more.
We want to meet your friends.
Yeah. Let us meet
Yeah.
your friends.
Yeah.
Bring your friends
Sharing
to our
is
cabin.
caring.
Stop being so weird.
Put them to the
Don't
cabin.
bogart your friends.
I don't know.
Take your friends to a cabin and listen to this podcast and just see what happens.
Oh,
What could go
Do you
wrong?
think our
No.
podcast could summon something? Take us to a
Ooh.
cabin and play us and see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's responsible medical advice from the doctor of the buddies.
Yep.
Kelly
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If you like the music, listen to Michael J. O'Connor's music. Visit michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com.
And if you miss me and Chelsea, maybe our Never Show the Monster hiatus is over, and it's very much like this episode where we talk about horror movies.
More like a biatus, am I right?
Because it's two of us.
Bye.
Oh.
What?
Biatus.
Oh.
Right?
Yo,
Because
wait.
you're saying goodbye to it. You're saying
Yo,
goodbye to your hiatus.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Oh,
I
I was like, are you trying to say bye? Because are you saying we're not going to pick it up? Because we're trying.
see. We're trying.
It's very heavy.
No. Oh, I was just trying to say goodbye to the hiatus. Look, we had a lot of fun. Don't stab people with pencils.
No.
Don't stay in weird cabins. Go home. If
Go
the
home.
cabin's weird,
Yeah.
you just be a furred, okay?
That was good. Yeah.
Little Johnny Cochran
If
if
it's got
he's
a
spooky.
rocking bench.
Yeah, what did
if
you
it's got
call
a
it?
rocking
Rocking bench.
bench, you got to avoid that shit.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see you. We'll see you somewhere else that's less evil next time. Right here.
Right here.
Yoha.
Yo-ha.
Bye, buddies.
First